Chapter 1675, Fighting against Yang Yan. The World Clan has been discreet for so many years, but finally, they're starting to make an appearance again, thought some people. The World Clan was mysterious, having disappeared from the world for such a long time. They had been gone for even longer than the Moon Imperial Palace, and now one of their disciples with a king body had appeared in vast celestial ancient city. Surprisingly, a guy from the World Clan with a king body is here. There are two people with king bodies now. Apart from them, Chu Chun Chiu was strong too, nobody could kick him out. Lin Feng looked calm even though he knew that everyone was looking at him. In terms of wealth, he couldn't compare to those young people, but he was interested in the relationship which existed between the Moon Imperial Palace and the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan. He wanted to know more about that. Since he was in vast celestial ancient city, he was bound to face some challenges at some point, and he didn't intend to get off the boat, so he knew what came next. At that moment, Zhang Xiao looked at Lin Feng and smiled indifferently. Lin Feng, you can come next time. Zhang Xiao smiled politely and nicely because Lin Feng had come to the Heaven Clan with Lang Yi. He was a guest of honor in the Heaven Clan, but Lin Feng wasn't Lang Yi, he wasn't from an ancient clan. When the others heard him, they remained silent and looked at Lin Feng calmly as well. Since Zhang Xiao had asked him to get off the boat, it meant that Lin Feng wasn't important enough to stay on it, which meant that he was probably going to get off the boat. In their opinion, Zhang Xiao, Lang Yi and Lin Feng had come together, so Lin Feng had to listen to them. But Lin Feng slowly turned around and smiled at Zhang Xiao. He looked very friendly but not very polite. He felt uncomfortable though. He had come with them, so why didn't Zhang Xiao try to make the others leave? What did he have against Lin Feng? Even if he had talked politely, it was still humiliating for Lin Feng. Zhang Xiao had no reason to make Lin Feng leave, and even Lang Yi frowned. Lin Feng had come with him, and they were good friends. Zhang Xiao was being rude and impolite, but Lang Yi didn't say anything. However, it wasn't something too dramatic. Lin Feng could solve the issue himself. Lin Feng smiled at Zhang Xiao indifferently and said, I'm not waiting until next time. Zhang Xiao's smile suddenly turned rigid. Alright, as you wish. Because Lang Yi and Lin Feng were friends, Zhang Xiao couldn't argue with him. He was just annoyed. Name, and where are you from? Asked Yang Yan to Lin Feng. A gigantic sun was already moving towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng, I don't belong to any group, said Lin Feng. His eyes were pitch black. Oh. Yang Yan's fire was getting more intense. Suddenly, the fireball exploded. Lin Feng found the energies to be a bit painful, forcing him back a little. He doesn't have a group and still dares to get on the boat, said Yang Yan, the corner of his mouth curled upwards. The others remained silent and calm as they looked at Lin Feng. That guy had to understand that he had to leave the boat. Lin Feng looked at Yang Yan and suddenly, he started moving like the wind. Huh? Yang Yan was surprised that Lin Feng was attacking him. Flames of fury emerged from Yang Yan's eyes and his suns became incomparably bright. Die, said a voice carrying demon intent. Lin Feng was fearless as he faced the gigantic sun. Break, shouted Lin Feng. The sky shook as the sun broke apart. Lang Yi also started moving and world lights appeared, making so that the boat didn't swing at all. Boom boom, the two people moved away from each other. Yang Yan jumped off the boat, floating in the air. It felt like his hand was broken from their previous exchange. Lin Feng was still on the boat, inside Lang Yi's world lights. Lin Feng smiled at him indifferently. The only decent thing about you is the name of your clan. Gotcha. Yang Yan summoned another sun which surrounded him. Then he shouted, come here. Lin Feng slowly rose up in the air and faced Yang Yan. Interesting, thought many people who looked amused. Yang Yan had studied the Sun ancient scriptures, so it wasn't surprising that his attacks were so explosive. Yang Yan stretched out his arm, and another gigantic sun streaked across the sky. Yang Yan's sun scriptures are a lot better than the cosmos burning sun technique I studied, but that's not surprising because they were only Tian level scriptures, thought Lin Feng. The lights from the sun were blinding as they neared Lin Feng. At the same time the sun was moving, Yang Yan also moved, a red sun appearing in his hand as he ran towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't know how to react to this onslaught. He couldn't only rely on his demon strength, otherwise, he'd have no chance of winning. It was rare for him to face such strong people. He stretched out his hand and destructive energies flushed, making his hand look black and thick. Die! Lin Feng's lights and the sun collided. Right after the exchange, Yang Yan moved his other hand and another sun appeared. If it reached Lin Feng's head, his head would explode. Celestial death curtain, said Lin Feng, moving his other hand as well. Terrifying energies moved towards the sun again, then the hot and death energies collided and exploded. Your attacks aren't bad, said Yang Yan, smiling coldly. He released another sun, even more terrifying than the previous. Around him, several more suns appeared too. You're from a holy clan and yet, you're only an average fighter. Lin Feng mocked. Suddenly, he released sword energies. Back on the boat, most of the group were surprised. Lin Feng was quite strong, he could even compete with Yang Yan. Besides, he didn't look scared at all. Even Song Shao was surprised. Lin Feng really was terrifying. Was he a hermit? Otherwise, he couldn't have come to the Heaven Clan with Lang Yi. Please stop fighting, said the girl from the Moon Imperial Palace. She slowly rose up in the air and smiled at Lin Feng and Yang Yan. You can't get hurt because of such a small thing. We'll make an exception, you can both come on the boat. Yang Yan looked at her and smiled. All right, it would be rude for me to offend the Moon Imperial Palace, so I won't kill him. Lin Feng was surprised. Kill him? It's good when people know how to behave though. Lin Feng retorted, making Yang Yan look furious again. All right, please don't fight anymore, said the woman, smiling wryly. Humph. Yang Yan groaned coldly. Then, they all landed back on the boat. The woman smiled and asked Lin Feng, Prince, you used several types of abstruse energies before, do you have a special body? My body type allows me to learn 10 types of abstruse energies, replied Lin Feng, smiling. Then, he landed on the boat. Chapter 1676, Enemies, 10 Types of Abstruse Energies. The woman from the Moon Imperial Palace was amazed. Not only her, but the entire crowd was surprised. Very, very few people had a body which allowed them to understand 10 different types of abstruse energies. Many people had to give up most types of energies after they broke through to the Huang-Chi layer. Usually, people's energies became weaker as they became stronger. However, those who had a body which allowed them to understand 10 different types of abstruse energies could make their energies level up indefinitely. Of course, people who could study 10 types of abstruse energies and could make them fuse together were even rarer. Lin Feng had a body which allowed him to understand 10 different types of abstruse energies and his energy fusions were perfect. He wasn't weaker than Yang Yan. After breaking through to the Huang-Chi layer, maybe that he would become less good at making abstruse energies fuse together. Everybody, if you argue amongst each other, I won't be happy, said the woman from the Moon Imperial Palace, shaking her head. Then, she slowly walked towards the pavilion on the lake. The girls there looked nervous, they wanted to find a boyfriend amongst those geniuses. After a short time, the geniuses on the boat made it to the pavilion, and then the girls stopped dancing. Please come, said the women. They calmly followed the women and glanced around. They quickly realized that the ground was changing as they moved ahead, even the lake was disappearing. They were actually in a palace, but they didn't realize it yet. Progressively, the crowd sensed that they were falling into darkness. There was a slight wind, stars, a moon, it really felt like they weren't in a palace but outside on a beautiful night. There were many pavilions in front of them, each of which were connected. In each pavilion, there was a woman leaning against a balustrade, looking at the moon. "These are the celestial women of our group, you can make friends with them if you'd like," said the beautiful woman who had taken the crowd there. Then, she walked backwards, and everybody gazed into the distance. They couldn't see the faces of those beautiful women, but they could guess that they were extremely beautiful. "Beautiful like in a dream," whispered Qin Shang, sighing. There were 9 women waiting there for them. Lin Feng suddenly noticed one of them, and she looked familiar. He slowly walked towards the pavilion and sat down. "Yi Ren, the celestial girl," said Lin Feng. The beautiful woman turned around and smiled at him. "Lin Feng knows her," thought Lang Yi, surprised. Lin Feng had immediately called that girl by her name, which must have meant that he knew her. Interesting. They had never seen Lin Feng in vast celestial ancient city before, and now he knew a girl from the Moon Imperial Palace. How beautiful, she looked so sexy. "I like that kind of girl, I bet she's really good in bed," thought Yang Yan. He then walked to the pavilion in which Lin Feng was already at. The girl smiled thinly, looking as beautiful as before. "Long time no see," said Yi Renlei in a gentle way. Lin Feng was confused. What was Yi Renlei doing there in the Moon Imperial Palace? "How should I call you, celestial girl?" asked Yang Yan as he smiled at Yi Renlei. "Call me Yi Ren," said Yi Renlei, smiling back. Yi Ren, the celestial girl. Yang Yan couldn't take his eyes away from Yi Renlei. "The Moon Imperial Palace has thousands of people, but I've heard that the celestial women from the Moon Imperial Palace are incredible. I wonder if we could," said Yang Yan, smiling as before. "If you express the wish to. No need to look at her." Lin Feng poured alcohol in 2 glasses and gave one to Yi Renlei. Yi Renlei took the glass and smiled at Lin Feng. "She's already mine." "Go and find someone else," said Lin Feng, raising his glass at Yi Renlei. He didn't even glance at Yang Yan. How arrogant. "I gave you face and now you're still acting rude," said Yang Yan, grabbing the jar of alcohol and setting it on fire. "Piss off," said Lin Feng, slowly turning around to look at Yang Yan. Yang Yan frowned and suddenly released fire energies. They glanced at each other. They looked like a demon and a fire god. Yang Yan's looked into Lin Feng's eyes, feeling the 9 netherworlds water flowing into his body. "Die," said Lin Feng, sounding like a demon. Suddenly, Yang Yan closed his eyes and stood up. He opened his eyes again and suddenly, flames came out of them. Lin Feng then ignored him and took out his own alcohol. He said indifferently, "How long are you going to stay here?" "Very good," said Yang Yan, hammering the table with his fist. Then, he turned around and left. Lin Feng had defeated him, so he wasn't very happy. After Yang Yan left, the table he had set on fire was bright red. Yi Renlei looked at Lin Feng, thinking inwardly that he was the same as he was in the past. "When did you arrive here?" asked Lin Feng. She looked angry and released ice energies onto the fire to extinguish it. 2 years, said Yi Renlei, smiling. 2 years. Lin Feng was surprised and asked, "Are you leaving with me?" Yi Renlei shook her head and smiled. "Back then we agreed, after the 100 days we'd each have our own path." "What kind of cultivators does the Moon Imperial Palace raise?" asked Lin Feng. "My love, you're worried," said Yi Renlei, smiling. "The Moon Imperial Palace is different from what you think. If you don't believe me, you can look at the others." At that moment, the men were already in several pavilions. Lin Feng glanced around at the girls, noting that they were all incredibly beautiful, but their chi was different from Yi Renlei's. "Different chi, but beautiful," whispered Lin Feng. Yi Renlei smiled and nodded. "You all think of yourself as hunters, but you don't know how many of you hunters have turned into prey. If even one of you fails, then the Moon Imperial Palace wins." Lin Feng frowned. Indeed, those people were from ancient clans, and they were extraordinary, not to mention their powerful ancient scriptures. Chapter 1677, Clash of the Kings, it's time. Renlei's robe fluttered as she ran towards the lake. The other celestial women did the same and appeared above the water. They were all wearing white robes, resembling white lotuses. The young men in the pavilions were captivated by them. Can they really be mortal beings, thought some young men. They had seen many, many beautiful women in their lives, but these women were top existences. Lin Feng looked at them, Renlei would look at him from time to time. Lin Feng had to hold himself back from hugging her and never letting her go. A palace appeared in the air above them, the Moon Palace. The 9 celestial women flew into the air and entered the palace, and after a short time, the palace disappeared with them. Now the crowd could only remember them. Beautiful, said Lin Feng, smiling indifferently. When the crowd realized that the women were gone, they also realized they couldn't follow them. You also knew her name, whispered Lang Yi, smiling wryly. That woman was so beautiful, but she looked cold at times. Usually nobody knows the celestial women's names, not even I can know their names, whispered Qin Shang. After having seen those women, the young men felt strange, even Qin Shang couldn't stop thinking about them. Gentlemen, the women are gone. If you want to see them again, you'll have to wait, said a beautiful woman outside the pavilion. Ren, whispered Lin Feng. He smiled wryly and stood up. Renlei was special and had a place in Lin Feng's heart. She was one of the 4 most beautiful women of Ba Huang. Lin Feng couldn't forget about her, especially those days he had spent with her. Those days with her were incredible, making love all day and chatting about various things. Those memories were amongst the most beautiful in his life. The crowd left Moon Imperial Palace feeling like they had just dreamed it all. Outside the pavilions, many people were waiting to hear what had happened. I wouldn't have thought that a cultivator with the World King body and another one with the Godly Imprint King body would be here today. Unfortunately, I was too late, so I hadn't managed to participate, said someone on the edge of the lake. That friendly-looking young man was wearing a 9-colored robe. Prince of Sadness. Everybody looked at him in a friendly way. Prince of Sadness, you're here. The celestial women have waited a long time, said the woman, walking to the Prince of Sadness. She smiled and said, I wouldn't want to make any of them sad. I'll immediately go back to the Moon Palace. Please, the Prince of Sadness said politely. We'll meet again, said the Prince of Sadness, smiling at the young men. Then, he looked at Lin Feng and said, it's an honor for me to see someone who understands 10 different types of abstruse energies. Brother Lin Feng, Gu can also control 10 types of abstruse energies. To me, you're all heroes. Thank you very much, said Lin Feng, nodding and smiling at the Prince of Sadness. He was a strange guy. Please, everyone, said the woman to the crowd. Then, she left with the Prince of Sadness. The crowd was surprised, the Prince of Sadness could freely go to the Moon Palace. After the woman left, Lang Yi looked at Lin Feng, the person he's talking about, Gu, was an insane cultivator who lived thousands of years ago. Many people admired him for his talents and for his love for battling, just like you. But at some point, he disappeared, and nobody knows where he is nowadays. 10 types of abstruse energies, whispered Lin Feng, and then he smiled. Vast celestial ancient city had a history of prodigies. As an example, there were 2 people in the crowd right now who had special bodies, a World King body and a Godly Imprint King body, but nobody dared underestimate the others. For example, Chu Chun Chiu, he could absorb others' determination. At that moment, energies suddenly crashed onto Lang Ye's body. Dugu the winner, who had a Godly Imprint King body, was challenging Lang Yi. Let's fight, said Dugu the winner, moving towards a pavilion on Ice Moon Lake. 360 ancient imprints rotated around his body, each one containing a terrifying strength. Lang Yi had a World King body, so he didn't fear him. He jumped forwards and ran towards Dugu the winner at full speed. A battle between King-type body cultivators, the crowd frowned. This would certainly be a clash of titans. Chu Chun Chiu jumped forwards as well, wanting to watch. Interesting. Yang Yan smiled and rose up in the air. He didn't want to miss the battle either. Lin Feng rose up in the air too and moved like the wind. At that moment, 360 ancient imprints were rotating around the godly imprint king body like dazzling stars. Lang Ye's black robe was fluttering as world lights shined around him. "Go!" shouted Dugu the winner, shaking his hand. In a flash, the godly imprints were intertwining and turned into a golden hand which was directed in Lang Ye's direction. Lang Yi jumped forwards as world lights flashed ahead. The golden hand crashed into the world lights and disappeared. Boom! Dugu the winner jumped forwards, causing waves to thrash about on the lake. He suddenly closed the gap between him and Lang Yi, then his 360 ancient imprint lights began intertwining again. Godly imprint king body, 360 imprint lights. Once he breaks through to the Huang Qi layer, he'll be even more terrifying with 3,600 ancient imprints, thought Lin Feng. Chapter 1678, Godly Imprint King Body. By the Ice Moon Lake, there was a waterfall, and even a whirlpool. Imprint lights appeared around Dugu the winner, 360 of these ancient imprint lights appeared and started rotating around him. It's raining mountains, they oppress everything. That's an imperial imprint, it can turn into a deadly stroke which could be used to kill even emperors. Indestructible imprints which violate the laws of physics. How terrifying. The ancient Dugu clan really are the best at controlling imprints, especially when they possess the king body of the clan, thought the crowd. World king body, he's extremely strong. World lights appeared all around Lang Yi, the world lights were mysterious while they looked deadly. They surrounded all the imprints and then it started raining energies. They weren't moving yet, they were just releasing energies, and testing the waters. Suddenly, terrifying imprints reappeared all around Dugu the winner, at the same time, a gigantic swastika talisman appeared in the sky. Those are Buddhist imprints, thought the crowd. The gigantic swastika descended from the sky, making Lang Yi look tiny next to it. The imprint king body allows a person to control gold energy, and even though it hasn't turned into cosmic energy yet, but he'll probably break through to the Huang Qi layer when they do, thought Lin Feng. Gold abstruse energies are good for attacks, but when a cultivator who has a godly imprint king body uses them, they become explosive. The difference between ordinary people and strong cultivators was even greater once they started using abstruse energies and cosmic energies. Apart from the ancient Buddhist imprints, many other terrifying imprints appeared, assaulting the world lights. Finally, Lang Yi reappeared with the celestial ancient coffin in his hand. As it rose to the sky, two different types of strength appeared. World strength is very strange, so I'm sure that the world clan's king body is quite powerful, said Dugu the winner. His 360 imprint lights slightly faded. The Dugu clan's godly imprint king body is not bad either, said Lang Yi calmly. He had protected himself this far, so he was satisfied, he had seen the godly imprint king body. Chu Chun Chiu's strength is his ancient imperial intent, the Holy Sun clan have terrifying explosive sun attacks, the ancient witchcraft clan have mysterious powers, the young people from the other clans and sects from vast celestial ancient city will also have no problem breaking through to the Huang Qi layer, thought Lang Yi. He had also meant to include Lin Feng who had a special body which allowed him to use 10 types of abstruse energies, and then Meng Qing who was from the Snow clan and also possessed a special body type. That generation didn't lack strong young cultivators. Only in the end will we be able to see who the true winners are between those of us with special bodies. Dugu the winner looked solemn and respectful. With that, he rose up in the air and recalled his energies. Then, he disappeared. It's not only between people who possess a special body, it's between everyone, said Lang Yi, gazing into the distance at Song Xiao and the others. The battle was over, but the crowd didn't feel pleased, they wanted to see more. The World King body and the Godly Imprint King body were incredibly rare, let alone to be facing each other. Lin Feng felt very enthusiastic. He glanced at Yang Yan, who was also staring back at him. Not everybody has a body which allows them to control 10 different types of abstruse energies, but even then, you cannot begin to imagine how powerful ancient holy clans are. Having said that, you relied on yourself, which isn't bad, said Yang Yan before he rose up in the air. Lin Feng didn't look at him. He glanced at Chu Chun Chiu and the young man from the ancient witchcraft clan, both of whom looked calm, but still, Lin Feng didn't underestimate them. Even Qin Shang and Bai Qi seemed strong. The crowd dispersed, leaving only Lang Yi, Lin Feng, and Song Xiao. The Moon Imperial Palace has officially reappeared in vast celestial ancient city. I'm sure they will invite even more young people, said Song Xiao, smiling indifferently. He was very interested in the celestial girls of the Moon Imperial Palace. If he could get one of them for himself, he'd incredibly happy. Not just the girl, but the Moon Imperial Palace also had incredible ancient imperial books. Let's go back, said Lang Yi in a calm way. Then, they both rose up in the air and left. Back in the Heaven Clan's territory, Lang Yi, Song Xiao and some other people were walking together, arriving where Lin Feng and Lang Yi were staying. Lang Yi, I've been staying in the Heaven Clan for quite a while already, and I feel like I'm disturbing you here, so I'll be leaving with my wife, said Lin Feng to Lang Yi. He wasn't friends with those people, and he had the feeling that they didn't want him to stay there. Back on the boat, Song Xiao had asked Lin Feng to get down, which he still wasn't happy thinking about that. Alright, I'll leave with you then, said Lang Yi, nodding. He understood how Lin Feng felt. If he had been Lin Feng, he would have done the same. Brother Lin, Brother Lang Yi, is there anything making you feel unhappy? The Heaven Clan is gigantic, so if you need more space, we can show you other rooms, said Song Xiao. His facial expression suddenly changed when he heard them. Then, he smiled at Lin Feng and said, Brother Lin, if I did something wrong, please forgive me. Lin Feng perfectly understood why Song Xiao acted that way, but Lin Feng just smiled and said, Thank you, I have things to do though. I'm off. Song Xiao was being nice even though he had a higher social status than Lin Feng, but Lin Feng couldn't stay there the whole time. Lin Feng then started leaving. Who does he think he is? Said Song Yu, his facial expression changed drastically. Lin Feng was humiliating him by declining his invitation. Lin Feng heard him but ignored him. Lang Yi remained speechless as well. Song Yu also tried to call on him, but Lang Yi had brought Lin Feng, so he wanted to leave with him. Xiu Yuxian came to Lin Feng as Lang Yi asked Song Xiao, please say goodbye to Tsang Ling for me. I'm off. Then the three of them left. Lin Feng will see, said Song Yu in a cold way, feeling humiliated as well. No need. If he wants to leave, then he can, he's not our prisoner. It turns out that he's extraordinary, which explains why Lang Yi and Lin Feng are such good friends. If he doesn't offend us, don't attack him, said Song Xiao calmly. Humph. Song Yu was unhappy and groaned coldly. Lin Feng and Lang Yi left and found a place to land. They could do whatever they wanted if they weren't at the Heaven Clan. The only problem was that they couldn't hear much about the outside world if they secluded themselves. Lin Feng was still a bit worried that Yi Renlei was with the Moon Imperial Palace. Later that night, Lin Feng was walking around on his own, looking at the sky. A silhouette descended from the sky with 360 imprint lights around them. That was the godly imprint king body, Dugu the Winner. Lin Feng and Dugu the Winner weren't enemies, so what was that guy doing? Chapter 1679, Celestial Evolution. Holy Scriptures in the air. Dugu the Winner remained silent and said nothing. He jumped forwards, his ancient imprints launching at Lin Feng. Lin Feng condensed demon energy in his hand and punched the air in Dugu the Winner's direction. In a flash, the ancient imprints broke, and Dugu the Winner landed in front of Lin Feng. Lin Feng looked at him in a cold way. What was wrong with Dugu the Winner? They weren't enemies, so why was that guy attacking him? Lin Feng released sword chi which tore apart the imprints, causing explosions to resonate in all directions. Lin Feng felt the pressure as Dugu rushed over to him, his Buddhist imprints leading the charge. Lin Feng rose up in the air, attacking the ancient imprints using his great earth destruction. The imprints broke apart, and Lin Feng shouted furiously, "You're not Dugu the winner." Lin Feng had seen Dugu the winner and Lang Yi fight, he knew what his energies felt like. Dugu the winner was extremely strong, but the person he was fighting against now had something different. Lin Feng felt like he had already seen those eyes. "It's you." Lin Feng recognized the eyes from when he went to the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan. Not only were they pretending to be Dugu the winner, they were actually using the 360 imprints. That guy could imitate other people's attacks. Could it be the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures, thought Lin Feng. Lin Feng didn't have time to think though, he had to react quickly. Attack! Lin Feng used his sword energies again. Gigantic canyons formed all around, however, his opponent was smiling in a cold way, like he wasn't under any pressure. Suddenly, millions of clones appeared, seemingly millions of imprints filling the night sky. Lin Feng started feeling dizzy looking at them all. Illusion. Lin Feng's eyes became pitch black as he jumped above. His sword chi descended, destroying the illusion and leaving a gigantic crater beneath him. After the illusion fell apart, terrifying sun suddenly appeared. Sunlight. Lin Feng frowned as he saw a sun moving towards him. Lin Feng used his desolate Xana attack this time, causing the sun to explode. Lin Feng then released more demon intent. As Lin Feng landed on the ground, the earth beneath him exploded, turning into a cage to trap him. As soon as the cage started to trigger, Emperor Wu Tianjian's sword intent flooded out, instantly overwhelming the cage and making it break apart. Fissures appeared in the air and the ground, however, in the next moment, Lin Feng's opponent was already running away at full speed. Lin Feng looked at his opponent, he was still facing him as he ran backwards. To make things even stranger, he was still smiling. He hadn't managed to kill Lin Feng, and given Lin Feng's speed, he probably wouldn't be able to hold out much longer. However, numerous clones flooded the sky, making it impossible to guess which one was the real one. Lin Feng glanced around and stopped moving, there were too many clones to attack. He's so fast. If I had known that before, I would have used my talismans from the start, thought Lin Feng. That guy isn't any weaker than those who have king bodies, thought Lin Feng. It wouldn't be a lie to say that this guy was one of the most terrifying cultivators Lin Feng had ever fought against. At that moment, a strong wind blew and a cultivator appeared, it was Lang Yi. "What's wrong?" asked Lang Yi. "I encountered a terrifying cultivator who could use the skills and techniques of the godly imprint king body in the 360 imprint lights, amongst other skills we've seen recently. I think he has the ability to imitate people's attacks," said Lin Feng. Lang Yi frowned, "I find it surprising to hear that you met such a cultivator. I think I've seen him before." Lin Feng continued. "I think it might be the person I saw in the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan. I told you about that already." "It's him," thought Lang Yi, looking more surprised. "Should we go to the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan and see?" asked Lang Yi. "That's what I want to do," said Lin Feng nodding. Then, they both started flying in the direction of the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan. Lin Feng didn't know that at that moment, Qiu Yu Xian was shaking violently as a terrifying mercilessness energy was rising to the skies. No, Qiu Yu Xian felt very cold and her face started looking distorted. Finally, her eyes changed, and she started walking. A silhouette appeared in front of her, she looked beautiful, even perfect. She had a veil covering her face though. That silhouette stopped not far from her. Qiu Yu Xian walked to that mysterious woman. The mysterious woman turned around and started leaving. Qiu Yu Xian followed her silently, neither of them saying anything. Lin Feng didn't know about that. He was with Lang Yi, and they were heading towards the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan. As they approached the clan, they realized that many other people were going there too. Nothing has been heard from the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan for such a long time, and now some people are trying to make it rise again, said someone next to Lin Feng and Lang Yi. I don't know who's doing it, but one thing's for sure, the clan hasn't been completely destroyed. Only members of the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan can activate the deployment spell, and they must be at least core disciples, said someone else. The other one nodded. I've heard that they might have been hiding underground. Lin Feng and Lang Yi accelerated. Finally, they arrived on the site of the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan, but they were astonished at what they found. Instead of ruins, there were ancient palaces, and though the the buildings looked pristine and beautiful. Is that the ancient Celestial Evolution Holy Palace? Whispered Lin Feng. It must be one of the main palaces, the others have definitely been destroyed, said Lang Yi. Chapter 1680, Ancient Holy Clan. The Celestial Evolution Holy Palace has existed for thousands of years. I wonder if there are treasures inside, thought Lin Feng. He gazed into the distance and some qi approaching them quickly. People raised their heads and saw a middle-aged man wearing a white robe, capable of crossing thousands of meters in the blink of an eye. The master of the Heaven Clan is here, thought the crowd. That's Tsang Ling's elder, his strength is unfathomable, said Lang Yi to Lin Feng. The Celestial Evolution Holy Palace attracted many strong cultivators. Tsang Ling's elder represented the Heaven Clan, so he made an appearance for his clan. Boom! At the same moment, the sky became distorted elsewhere. The almighty cultivator of the Chu clan is here, said Lang Yi. Lin Feng glanced at him. Chu Chun Chio's qi was similar, but that person's qi was just infinitely more powerful than Chu Chun Chio's. He was probably a celestial emperor. Following them, many more terrifying cultivators arrived. Lin Feng noticed one cultivator who was surrounded by millions of shadows. That was probably a strong cultivator from the Duga clan. As expected, those people immediately ran towards the main hall of the Great Palace. The crowd watched as terrifying energies and threads of godly awareness invaded the palace, all attempting to find treasures. Good heavens, the Holy Palace has reappeared, so there must be treasures inside. However, the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan has disappeared for 1,000 years now, so stealing their treasures won't be easy, said a Taoist monk. Lin Feng gazed into the distance. Why did that guy appear each time treasures appeared? Master, you're not dead, asked Lin Feng. Yan Di smiled at Lin Feng and said, you're still alive, so why would I be dead? You can leave the forbidden area alive, you're even more resilient than I thought, said Lin Feng. Places which house people are not really forbidden areas, said Yan Di. He then looked at the central part of the palace where a terrifying energy was emerging from. What kind of oppressive and destructive strength is that, thought Lin Feng, shivering. His face turned pale as he looked at the main palace. As I said, it won't be easy to get any treasures, said Yan Di. His facial expression didn't change, he even looked amused. People around him rolled their eyes, thinking, that guy is still in the mood to joke. Destructive energies gradually filled the air. The incredible cultivators who had gone to the main palace came back now, rise through the air. Finally, after they flew dozens of meters into the air, the destructive energies disappeared. None of them dared go back down. After a short time, they all left in different directions without saying anything. Everybody, now is the right time to get precious treasures, why isn't anybody else doing anything, asked Yan Di to the crowd. Some people glanced at him in a cold way. I won't take anything, but I'll go inside and have a look, said Yan Di smiling. Then, the crowd watched him fly towards the central palace. Damn, thought Lin Feng. Yan Di dared go inside, but Lin Feng wasn't worried, instead he was confident in Yan Di's experience. As expected, after a while, nothing happened. Some people released their godly awareness and found that the Taoist monk looked at ease inside. He was currently stealing treasures. Humph! An emperor groaned and ran towards the palace. If that Taoist monk could go inside, why not him? After he got in, the crowd saw that nothing was happening, and more people decided to give it a try. "Let's go," said Lin Feng to Lang Yi. Then, they both went in the direction of the main palace. Inside the main palace, they found a chessboard which had the force of 7 stars. "That chessboard is an ancient deployment spell, we can't activate it," whispered Lin Feng. There were many pieces on the chessboard and moving them would probably have disastrous consequences. Maybe the strong cultivators from before had moved them. Above the chessboard were black lights. "What is that item?" thought some people. "That's the Celestial Evolution chessboard of the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan," said Yen Di, as if it was a matter of fact. "It could be the Celestial Evolution chessboard, but since I've never seen it, I can't be sure," whispered Lang Yi. "How do you know if that's the real Celestial Evolution chessboard and not a copy?" asked a strong cultivator. "I can't be sure either. Also, there are sure to be the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures inside," said Yen Di, pointing deeper inside. "If you think the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures are inside, why don't you go and take them?" asked a young man in a cold way. That was Chu Chun Chiu. "If the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures were inside, would you go and take them?" asked Yen Di to Chu Chun Chiu indifferently. "Of course I wouldn't. I'm leaving," said Chu Chun Chiu. Then, he turned around and left looking confident and at ease. "I'm too weak, so I can't take the treasure. I'll go and take some other treasures," said Yen Di. Then, he turned around and left as well. People were angry, he had come in first and now he was leaving already. "Let's go too," said Lin Feng to Lang Yi. Following Yen Di was the best thing to do. But when they left the main hall, a terrifying energy filled the air. Great emperors had appeared, pushing the cultivators already there away. "They can help," thought Lin Feng. Arg! At that moment, someone shouted furiously. A terrifying bestial chi rolled in waves. "A powerful cultivator from a bestial clan has arrived," thought the crowd. Why do beasts want the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures? At that moment, 360 lights appeared next to Lin Feng and Lang Yi. It was Dugu the winner. Chapter 1681, Great Bestial Emperor. "What terrifying bestial chi, that must be a great imperial beast," thought Lin Feng. The Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures have attracted a lot of strong cultivators. That beast is a gigantic and ancient lion. He's from one of the 3 incredible bestial clans of vast celestial ancient city. The other 2 haven't arrived yet it seems. Lang Yi explained. The animals with him are terrifying, and that girl, Lin Feng saw a beautiful woman. She was wearing a cyan dress, she had a beautiful figure, thin straight hair, and her eyebrows looked like crescent moons. She had a nose similar to Shui Ling Long. Not to mention that she had beautiful lips and breasts. If I'm not mistaken, that must be Qin Feng. I've heard that she possesses phoenix blood, whispered Lang Yi. Indeed, that's Qin Feng. Nobody really knows what kind of body she has though. In any case, she is extremely talented. Apparently, she can control several types of energies, and is considered the holy woman by most people. Dugu the winner explained. Everybody, let's join hands and see if we can deactivate the deployment spell, asked a strong cultivator. Alright, said the crowd. The weaker people moved away, not wanting to stand in the middle of those people's energies. Lin Feng and Lang Yi also moved away. This time, several great emperors were going to join hands, so the energies that spilt over might kill them. Let's start, shouted a strong cultivator. A gigantic hand descended from the sky. At the same time, the strong cultivator from the Chu clan released destructive imprints. The Beast Emperor roared furiously. All these destructive energies assaulted the central palace. Nothing could be heard except for the continuous explosions. The lights brought about from the energies were so bright that the crowd couldn't see either. When things finally calmed down, they looked at the palace which was already destroyed, reduced to ashes. However, the deployment spell still hadn't disappeared, it was distorted and fluctuating, but in the end, it stabilized and turned into the ancient chessboard again. The chessboard was twinkling, rays of lights were intertwining on it. How many layers are there in that celestial evolution great deployment spell? One layer has been destroyed, and the palace appeared, so why did the celestial evolution great deployment spell appear? Could that chessboard be the entrance to the small world of the celestial evolution holy clan? We're wasting our time here, said the beast cultivator unhappily. They couldn't break the deployment spell, that was now a fact. They rose up in the air and disappeared. The celestial evolution great deployment spell was surrounded by strange energies. Without a holy great emperor, we can't break the deployment spell, said Dugu the winner. He didn't know why either though. Qing Feng, why are you not leaving? Asked the ancient beast to Qing Feng. However, Qing Feng landed in front of Dugu the winner, Lang Yi and the others. Dugu the winner, I've heard that a cultivator who can control 10 different sorts of abstruse energies appeared in the ancient capital. Who is he? Qing Feng asked. Lin Feng was standing right next to Dugu the winner, but he didn't know what to say. Qing Feng was looking for someone with a body which allowed him to understand 10 different types of abstruse energies, but why? Dugu the winner pointed at Lin Feng, then Qing Feng turned to Lin Feng. She said, you have a body which allows you to understand 10 different types of abstruse energies? Indeed. Lin Feng nodded. Come with me, said Qing Feng in a gentle way. Then she turned around and started walking away. Lin Feng was startled and asked, where are we going? To the Beast Clan, said Qing Feng. Lin Feng was under a lot of pressure with the great Beast Emperor there. Master, please know that Lin Feng is a friend of the World Clan, said Lang Yi to the ancient beast. The ancient beast glanced at him and muttered, Ancient World King body. Don't worry, Qing Feng just wants to invite him as a guest, so we won't kill him, said the ancient lion. Lang Yi nodded and said, I trust you, of course. Then, Lang Yi nodded at Lin Feng. Lin Feng had no choice anyways, so he followed Qing Feng even though he didn't know why they were looking for someone with his abilities. Little boy, if you're in danger, just say that you have a body which allows you to understand 10 different types of abstruse energies, said Yan Di to Lin Feng using telepathy. The Beast Clan was at the periphery of vast celestial ancient city. Their small world was vast and filled with forests, gigantic mountains, nature. Lin Feng followed Qing Feng silently. They arrived on a flight of stairs which led to a beast palace. Many young people were looking at Qing Feng, seemingly with amusement. Are you a human? Asked a young man whose fur was made of flames. Lin Feng nodded. That young man frowned, why did you come here? She took me here, replied Lin Feng, shrugging. The young man looked at Qing Feng and asked, Qing Feng, why did you bring a human being? Qing Feng glanced at the young man and said coldly, mind your own business, will you? Of course, but you know he hates it when you hang out with humans, said the young man. Piss off, shouted Qing Feng aggressively. Then he moved away while still looking at Lin Feng in a cold way. They arrived in a great hall filled with oppressive energies. A Lion King looked at Lin Feng and asked, do you have a body which allows you to understand 10 different types of abstruse energies? Show me how many types of abstruse energies you control. Lin Feng said nothing and released abstruse energies, demon, earth, death, flames, wind, and so on. The lion looked stoical and asked Qing Feng, what do you intend to do? I'm taking him with me, said Qing Feng. The great emperor nodded and said, follow Qing Feng to her room. Chapter 1682, Geniuses Cooperate. Qing Feng lived at the top of a mountain. Her house was simple looking, situated near a lake. There was a wooden bridge over the lake which led to her house. Animals must like simplicity. Seeing how Qing Feng is a phoenix, she should like trees. But even though there are trees here, they don't seem that suitable for phoenixes, thought Lin Feng. He was wondering what kind of animal Qing Feng really was. She was beautiful, slim, and Lin Feng was standing next to her but had the feeling that she was very far away. On the lakeside, Qing Feng stopped and looked back at Lin Feng. She said in a gentle way, "Show me the attack you used against Yang Yan." Lin Feng looked at her in a strange way and said, "I'm not an actor." Qing Feng was surprised after she heard him. "If you don't like acting, then let's fight," said Qing Feng. Then she became like water and turned into an illusion. She raised her hands and moved towards him at full speed. However, Lin Feng didn't sense wind energies, rather empty space energies had surrounded him. He probably couldn't escape if he tried. Great earth destruction, the ground cracked. Lin Feng didn't hesitate and used a powerful attack. Their fists collided, and even though Qing Feng's fist was small and delicate, Lin Feng felt that he had punched waves of water which pushed him back. Wind, empty space, shadow, water, earth, and what else? Lin Feng was amazed. He could use several types of abstruse energies, so he could recognize when other people used several types. "Will you show me your energies, or do I have to continue making you use them?" asked Qing Feng. Her cyan clothes and her hair were still fluttering in the wind. Lin Feng had many thoughts. She had taken him there, and she could probably control 10 types of abstruse energies too, but it was strange, was she relying on a special body type like him? Why did she need him? "Do you really want to see?" asked Lin Feng, smiling. His interest was piqued. "I want to see all the types of energies you can use," said Qing Feng indifferently. "All right." Lin Feng nodded and condensed sword energies in his hands. "Wind thunder laceration," said Lin Feng, sword lights which contained both wind and thunder energies then rolled in waves. Desolate Ksana, Nirvana Sunya destruction, desolate explosion, Vayu death, Lin Feng used all his sword attacks. In a short time, he carried out 20 different sword attacks using all sorts of energies. A web of sword energies were left in the air, not dispersing for a while. Lin Feng then used his deadly demon punch, great earth destruction, earth punch, and so on. Qing Feng was watching, looking surprised. Lin Feng stopped and smiled at Qing Feng. "Is that enough?" He was convinced that she hadn't brought him there only for him to show her what he could do. However, at that moment, Qing Feng jumped onto a gigantic stone and closed her eyes. Then she was motionless, her hair was fluttering in the wind. In her brain, she visualized Lin Feng's attacks in slow motion. Lin Feng was surprised, what was Qing Feng doing? She remained like this for a very long time, completely motionless, surrounded by a pure holy qi. "I better not offend this animal clan," thought Lin Feng. He was annoyed, but he went to a higher point and gazed into the distance. Bang! Suddenly, something happened. Lin Feng turned around and saw terrifying energies. "That's Ksana strength is just like my desolate Ksana attack, but this one is even more explosive," thought Lin Feng. Qing Feng didn't entirely use the same energies as Lin Feng, she used wind and empty space energies like he had but changed the others. "She's using my energies to practice cultivation. Maybe her special body allows for mimicry," thought Lin Feng. After a short time, Qing Feng carried out a second attack which was similar to his Vayu death attack. She looked delicate and gentle, but her attacks were terrifying. She carried out attacks one after the other without stopping, her movements were fluid, and she was agile. Bang! A cyan light shot out towards an ancient tree in the distance. The tree exploded and turned to ashes. "That's," Lin Feng was stupefied, "that was a fusion of his desolate Ksana and his great earth destruction." Qing Feng had created a new attack, and not just that, it was perfect. Desolate Ksana and great earth destruction fusion. Lin Feng's eyes became pitch black. His celestial book spirit appeared, and he also closed his eyes. He played back the attack in his mind. His desolate Xana attack consisted of Xana strength, and the main types of abstruse energies used for that attack were empty space and wind abstruse energies. His great earth destruction was an explosive attack. Since it used speed too, it was also related to Xana strength, which was purely related to speed. Lin Feng reviewed the attack in his head several times, then he tried different sorts of strength. He also modified the abstruse energies, but nothing worked. Then, he tried releasing wind and empty space abstruse energies to surround the great earth destruction attack. Finally, he opened his eyes and gazed into the distance. The explosive and Xana energies didn't disperse for a while. I'll call that one nihility Xana waves. Lin Feng looked excited and happy. He was smiling in a resplendent way. It had been some time since he last understood energy fusions. Lin Feng looked at Qin Feng. She was also looking back at him, but she was surprised. He could also use the attack she had created. Lin Feng moved towards her and landed on the gigantic stone next to her. Qin Feng frowned. She didn't feel comfortable, but seeing Lin Feng's magnificent smile, she felt relaxed. He looked kind-hearted and extremely happy to study cultivation. That kind of honest expression put her at ease. Let's help each other, said Lin Feng, smiling at Qin Feng. He had the feeling that they could become stronger if they helped each other. Qin Feng looked surprised. She had taken Lin Feng there to help her practice cultivation, and she succeeded, but he had also learnt from her. I can make more energies fuse together, and then we can continue learning from each other. It's a win-win relationship, said Lin Feng smiling. Qin Feng remained silent for a few seconds and finally nodded. She agreed. Chapter 1683, Meeting again. Lin Feng and Qin Feng continued trying different types of energies, studying diligently. Lin Feng was already convinced that Qin Feng also had a special power which allowed her to study 10 different types of abstruse energies, but he didn't know how. In any case, she was a genius too. That death sword comes from your deadly demon punch, but if you added wind, it'd be even more terrifying. You can try creating a new deadly sword attack like that. Qin Feng and Lin Feng were seated cross-legged on a gigantic stone conversing. Use the abstruse energies you use for your death sword and make them fuse together with your Vayu death attack. At the same time, use your Vayu death abstruse energies and make them fuse together your death sword. Try combining these bit by bit until it works, said Qin Feng. Lin Feng listened to her carefully, but it was difficult to pay attention to what she was saying because she was so beautiful. She was even more beautiful than the girls from Moon Imperial Palace. Qin Feng stopped talking after she noticed that Lin Feng was staring at her. She looked surprised and turned her head. You look too beautiful, said Lin Feng, smiling. She didn't get angry when Lin Feng complimented her. She knew he wasn't a pervert. Besides, they had spent a few days together already and they had lots in common. Let's continue studying, said Qin Feng. Lin Feng nodded and they continued studying. Time passed slowly. In the meantime, back in vast celestial ancient city, many strong cultivators were inspecting the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan's palace, trying to understand how to break the deployment spell. Great emperors, and young geniuses were all talking about the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan. Sometime later, someone wearing a golden fire robe and a helmet walked towards Qin Feng's place. It was a young man. After he arrived at the top of the mountain, he saw Qin Feng and Lin Feng on a stone, talking and sitting close to each other. They almost looked like a couple, which made the young man upset. Boom! A fireball appeared. He had always thought that Qin Feng would be his future wife, especially considering that she had never made friends with men. What was this supposed to mean? Wu, said Qin Feng, frowning. Then, she said coldly, how come you came to my place without telling me in advance? Who is he? Asked Wu, looking at Lin Feng coldly. Lin Feng was thinking that Wu's fire was even more terrifying than Yang Yan's. "Mind your own business," said Qin Feng. "You're my future wife," said Wu firmly. Qin Feng replied, "You're the only one who thinks that way. My grandfather and the lion ancestor will go to your father and ask him for us to marry," said Wu, fixedly staring at Qin Feng. "Humph." Qin Feng groaned coldly and said, "What do you want from me?" "The Prince of Sadness and all the outstanding young people from vast celestial ancient city are going to try and break the deployment spells together. We should go and show them that beasts shouldn't be underestimated," explained Wu. Lin Feng was reminded of the great oriental greenfinch rock when he heard Wu. They had the same voice. Lin Feng could guess that this guy was probably an arrogant bird too. "Is Swan coming?" asked Qin Feng. "Swan is already there, we're just waiting for you now," said Wu. Qin Feng nodded and stood up. In vast celestial ancient city, beasts and animals lived together, but they did have prejudices against each other, they just didn't show it. It was a constant competition for each generation. "Lin Feng, come with us," said Qin Feng. Lin Feng nodded, he had nothing to do here if she left. "Are you the one who has a body which allows you to understand 10 different types of abstruse energies?" asked Wu, his eyes were bright and golden, just like two suns. "Is there a problem?" asked Lin Feng indifferently. That guy really looked like the great oriental greenfinch rock, and he was an arrogant bastard who considered everybody and everything beneath his notice. "You better not spend time with Qin Feng again, otherwise you'll have to bear the responsibilities," said Wu while releasing fire energies. Then he turned around and left. Qin Feng and Lin Feng caught up with him and after a short time, but there was another young man with him. His chi was like the great animal emperor, so he was probably a lion as well. Swan looked at Lin Feng. He didn't look as arrogant or as sharp as Wu, but he seemed aggressive and imposing. The Prince of Sadness was a love maniac who enjoyed breaking women's hearts, but he was also quite strong. He was the descendant of a holy clan, but nobody really knew how strong he was because he never fought anyone, and nobody dared belittle him. The Prince of Sadness was gentle, especially when it came to women, so it wasn't surprising that he didn't have many enemies. He was probably one of the most outstanding young people of his generation. At that moment, the Prince of Sadness was in the House of Sadness, accompanied with several women. All the women were very young and they all looked incredibly beautiful. There was also a gigantic chessboard in the House Sadness, and it looked like the chessboard from the Celestial Evolution Great Deployment spell. The Prince of Sadness is really skilled and outstanding. Surprisingly, he's even interested in deployment spells. Qin Shang was playing the zither on the side. "You're much more talented than me," said the Prince of Sadness, smiling at Qin Shang. "Stop pretending," said Bai Qi coldly. "I'm not interested in deployment spells, but I'm interested in seeing everyone who comes today," said Yang Yan enthusiastically. "The Prince of Sadness is close to the Moon Imperial Palace and invited them personally, so how could I miss that? I also want to see the outstanding people from vast celestial ancient city." "Brother Yang Yan, I feel honored that you came," said the Prince of Sadness, smiling in a gentle way. "Sister Tsangyu, Brother Tsang, Brother Lang Yi, welcome." Tsang Xiao and Tsang Yu from the Heaven clan, as well as Lang Yi had arrived. "Prince of Sadness, you're so elegant, you always mention women first in your sentences," said Dugu the winner. Lang Yi had a king body, while Tsang Xiao and Tsang Yu were both the most outstanding young persons from the Heaven clan, but still, the Prince of Sadness mentioned Tsang Yu first in his sentence. The Prince of Sadness just smiled. After that, Chu Chun Chiu, the ancient sorcerer, and after a while everyone else arrived. A moon appeared in the sky, 9 celestial creatures appeared and descended from the sky, captivating the crowd. The celestial creatures from the Moon Palace came, what an honor. So beautiful, they never change. I missed them, thought Yang Yan. Where had the Moon Imperial Palace found those extremely beautiful women? Ren Lei glanced around, but she didn't see Lin Feng, which suddenly made her worried. Yang Yan went to her and smiled, I could never forget you. Ren Lei calmly glanced at him, but she didn't try to turn him on this time, she even looked a bit cold. She just nodded at him indifferently. We should have a glass, Ren, said Yang Yan. I'm sorry, said Ren Lei, refusing. Yang Yan could only remember how sexy she looked back on that day, he really wanted to see her like that again. Chapter 1684, Who can break that deployment spell? You're making me even more interested, said Yang Yan as he stared at her body. He didn't act discreetly either, he just stared at her like a pervert, practically drooling. Good for you, said Ren Lei indifferently. She didn't mind, this wasn't her first time dealing with someone like him. Even more talented people arrived at the House of Sadness. The Prince of Sadness had invited all the most outstanding young people in vast celestial ancient city, not just those from holy clans, but also those from ancient clans. He also invited some deployment spellcasters. Prince of Sadness, can we try to break the deployment spell whenever we want? Asked a young man wearing fine clothes. Of course, anytime you want, said the Prince of Sadness, smiling. Is it really the Celestial Evolution Great Deployment Spell? Asked someone. 100%. Though, it's only a simplified form. We couldn't make the authentic Celestial Evolution Great Deployment Spell, said the Prince of Sadness, smiling. Alright, I'll give it a try. Someone rose up in the air and moved towards the deployment spell. Suddenly, lights invaded the palace and the chessboard started shaking violently. A destructive strength surrounded that person and attacked him. Boom! That person was propelled away, but the chessboard didn't move. The Celestial Evolution Great Deployment Spell contains several types of strength which keep metamorphosing, it seems. There's no way of breaking it, thought the crowd. Waves of energies were rolling, and that person from before was struggling. He looked like he was in pain, but he smiled and said, Prince of Sadness, that deployment spell is very strange. I can't break it. It's all right, said the Prince of Sadness, smiling before adding, I can't break it either. That person looked skeptical. Was he just trying to give him face? You don't understand deployment spells at all. What you did was entirely useless, said someone else. 4 people appeared in the distance, and each of their chi was extraordinary. There was a girl among them, and she looked drop-dead gorgeous. That's Qing Feng from the Animal Clan. She's even more beautiful than those celestial girls from the Moon Palace, thought the crowd. Qing Feng and 3 young men arrived. One of the men was surrounded by golden fire energies, he looked both sharp and sly. Lin Feng was there too, but many people had already seen him before. The geniuses of the Animal Clan are here, thought the crowd. Yang Yan slowly rose up in the air and looked at the crow. Yang Yan practiced sun cultivation, and that beast was a sun beast. If Yang Yan could absorb the crow's fire, it would be extremely beneficial for him. However, inside vast celestial ancient city, he couldn't even consider that option with his current strength. Even if he was stronger, he still wouldn't dare. Their clan was enigmatic and unfathomable. The crow glanced at Yang Yan and said coldly, You dare look at me because you also study sun cultivation? How insolent! Whoosh, a sun instantly started moving towards Yang Yan. Yang Yan suddenly raised his hands and several suns appeared. Explosions sounded as they collided, but there were still 2 suns in front of him. Piss off, the 2 suns continued moving forwards, making Yang Yan ran away. The crow looked at him and said, You must blame yourself for your ignorance, you dared look at me. You can't compete with me, said the golden crow. Then, he glanced at the deployment spell and then at Qing Feng. Could Qing Feng break it? He wanted everyone to know that they were the strongest because they were animals. Yang Yan looked at Lin Feng coldly and asked, Since when are you with the Animal Clan? Lin Feng glanced at him indifferently. Yang Yan had just been humiliated and now he wanted to vent his anger. Pieces of trash always talk shit, said Lin Feng, smiling. Yang Yan frowned. Lin Feng didn't even glance at him. Lang Yi glanced at Lin Feng. He wanted to tell him that his wife had disappeared. However, he didn't say anything right now, there'd be a better time later. "I'll go and try," said Dugu the winner, walking towards the deployment spell. He then started releasing dazzling energies which intertwined with each other. "If you don't move, the pieces won't move either, it seems," thought the crowd. Dugu the winner made 2 steps, and suddenly, a terrifying strength attacked his imprints. The first guy who tried kept running on the chessboard, so the situation became chaotic. "With each step Dugu the winner makes, the chessboard changes," said a strong cultivator who knew about deployment spells. Finally, after having tried a myriad of times, Dugu the winner gave up. After that, many other people tried and failed. However, the deployment spell was wearing down each time. If some deployment spell casters go in and control the energies, maybe they can try to control the entire deployment spell, said an emperor who was standing next to Yang Yan. "Hee, you must understand deployment spells, I'm thinking the same thing as you," said another person. Prince of Sadness smiled indifferently and said, "Anyone can try and break it." "Qing Feng," said Wu. He was wondering if she had noticed anything. Qing Feng was captivated. That deployment spell was too mysterious, she couldn't understand it at all. She turned to Lin Feng, whose eyes were slightly closed. She was surprised. She had spent some time with Lin Feng and she could tell that he was thinking about something. Did he understand deployment spells? Chapter 1685, Killing an Emperor. The everlasting celestial emperor's most powerful deployment spells were evolution deployment spells, and the celestial evolution great deployment spell was precisely an evolution deployment spell. The memories Lin Feng had obtained from the everlasting celestial emperor contained pieces of information concerning vast celestial ancient city, so maybe they had something to do with the celestial evolution holy clan. At that moment, Lin Feng was visualizing a gigantic chessboard. He could see each piece distinctly. Since that chessboard deployment spell couldn't be destroyed by brute force, it meant that there was a special method to do it. The caster had definitely carved it so that someone could destroy it. "Lang Yi, don't you want to try the chessboard?" Lin Feng asked. Lang Yi looked at Lin Feng in a strange way, but he still nodded. He started walking on the chessboard, and each time he stepped on it, a strength emerged. The strength was more and more mysterious as he moved further along. Even Lang Yi, who controlled world strength, quickly had to jump off it. "What do you think?" asked Lang Yi. "It can't be broken with just one person," said Lin Feng. Everybody suddenly looked at him. "Maybe we should try 4 people, including a deployment spell caster. Each of them should get onto the board from 4 different sides," said Lin Feng. "You must have noticed that each time someone tries, the deployment spell strength becomes increasingly mysterious as people move further along. So I'm thinking that if 4 people go for it, the pieces will stop moving, and if all 4 of those people manage to get to the center, the deployment spell would be broken. They could use the smaller deployment spells to try and study it, but the celestial evolution great deployment spell would be much more complicated to break. Nobody wanted to try it because they could die. Besides, people didn't know how similar that small one and the real one were." "Arrogant little boy," said one of the deployment spell masters from the Holy Clan, glancing at Lin Feng in a cold way. The deployment spell masters hadn't found a way to break the deployment spell, and Lin Feng dared say he had an idea. How arrogant could he be? "That deployment spell is based on the celestial evolution great deployment spell, so if you think it's so easy, then try it yourself," said another strong cultivator. He had remained discreet and had tried not to say anything ridiculous until now, but Lin Feng had dared tell them what to do, so he couldn't hold himself back any longer. "Would you dare go on to the celestial evolution great deployment spell?" asked Lin Feng to the strong cultivator in a cold way. "Humph. Breaking the deployment spell is not as easy as you think," the same guy said again. "You know nothing. How old are you, baby boy? Do you want to teach elders?" said the deployment spell caster from the Holy Sun clan mockingly. Yang Yan laughed and said, "That guy is very ignorant, indeed." Lin Feng glanced at them and then he immediately jumped onto the chessboard. Deployment spells aren't about age, even strength has nothing to do with age. You're both emperors but you are ignorant, shameless, and ridiculous, said Lin Feng, standing on the chessboard. In any case, you just have to observe and try, then you'll see if I'm wrong or right. So why the need to humiliate me? Ridiculous boy. Arrogant. Those emperors were furious. Surprisingly, that little boy was saying that he knew more than them. Go. If you have the opportunity, kill him, said Yang Yan to the emperor next to him. Lin Feng was acting recklessly, so if they could kill him with the deployment spell, that'd be for the best. All right, said that strong cultivator, nodding. Then, he jumped onto the chessboard as well. As expected, when he landed on the chessboard, there was no light. Boom! The strong cultivator from the Holy Sun clan stepped on the chessboard, and as he did, holy marks started twinkling. It seemed that the strength from the strong cultivator modified the holy marks, causing an explosive strength to move towards Lin Feng. As expected, when someone who knows deployment spells steps on the chessboard, it's a different story. They can borrow the strength for themselves, thought the crowd. Lin Feng made 2 steps, then dazzling lights illuminated the board. Lin Feng made another step, and explosions sounded. Lin Feng had blocked the opponent's attack. He surprisingly remembered all the pieces, thought Qin Feng. She had also memorized the chessboard, so she knew that someone who didn't know how to cast deployment spells couldn't do such a thing. Humph, his opponent groaned coldly. He made a few more steps, then holy marks started twinkling and shaking violently. They contained all sorts of strength as they moved towards Lin Feng. Boom! Lin Feng jumped. The holy marks were intertwining as he used the power of the chess pieces again to block the attack. He wants to kill me, thought Lin Feng. The enemy was trying to use deployment spells to kill him. You only know some abstruse energies and yet you still dare act so arrogantly, said that emperor. He released fire energies and took a few steps. Lin Feng was slowly understanding the mysteries of the chessboard, making him wonder who had made it. He looked at the intertwining holy marks, then he made 3 steps leftwards, 2 steps backwards, and 1 step rightwards. The crowd didn't notice how subtle his deployment spell was, they only saw a terrifying strength emerge. Die, shouted Lin Feng furiously. He started running forwards at full speed. People couldn't see him clearly because his agility technique was too fast. However, as he started running, he realized that some terrifying energies were approaching him on his left. His facial expression suddenly changed. He didn't have time to react to deployment spells anymore. A terrifying fire suddenly exploded. That person's cosmic energies turned into fireballs and exploded. Luckily, that deployment spell weakened the cosmic energies so he didn't manage to kill Lin Feng. After that, he started running towards Lin Feng, deciding to use pure strength to attack him. Bastard, said Qin Feng furiously. But she didn't move, she knew that a low-level emperor couldn't kill Lin Feng that easily. Humph. Lang Yi groaned coldly. That emperor was useless, he was attacking Lin Feng openly now. Lin Feng moved back like the wind, closing his eyes. He could clearly see the entire chessboard in his head. Lin Feng suddenly stopped moving backwards and started running forwards again. Each of his steps made the marks twinkle and intertwine, causing the lights around the Holy Sun clan's cultivator stop. Lin Feng started attacking the opponent unceasingly. The crowd couldn't see much because of the dazzling lights, but Lin Feng looked like a madman at that moment. He kept running in circles while releasing energies. He was extremely fast and yet, it seemed like he was in perfect control of the situation. A gigantic sun appeared as the emperor rose up in the air. However, while he was rising into the air, Lin Feng suddenly opened his eyes and punched the air in his direction. Bang! The crowd saw the emperor's head explode. Their hearts started pounding violently as if they had just realized what was going on. Then, the remnant fire energies began dispersing. Chapter 1686, Celestial Being, How Fast? How explosive, the crowd was astonished. The Emperor's body was falling from the sky as his fire cosmic energy dispersed. Lin Feng had used an attack he had created whilst practicing cultivation with Qin Feng, his Nihility Xana waves. That's a strong deployment spellcaster, mocked Lin Feng. Then he added, I am arrogant. I don't understand much. Then, all the elders who think that way can come here and show me. Those people remained silent and looked sad. You're a good deployment spellcaster, but killing people and insulting everyone is not the best way to be acknowledged, replied an emperor. Are you blind? Said Lin Feng, glancing at him. The emperor had tried to kill him in front of everyone. It's useless to talk to those morons. That guy was strong, and he tried to kill you because he had an inferiority complex, said Qin Feng. Those people couldn't be any better deployment spellcasters than the emperor who Lin Feng had just fought. Yang Yen pulled a long face. Then he said, You killed a member of my clan, the Holy Sun clan. So what? Replied Lin Feng coldly. He must want to die, said Lang Yi indifferently. The other emperors from the Holy Sun clan looked furious. Everybody, stop fighting, let's concentrate on the deployment spell, said the Prince of Sadness, smiling. Brother Lin Feng told us how to solve the issue, so does anyone want to try what he suggested? Asked the Prince of Sadness, smiling at the crowd. The Moon Imperial Palace is willing to, said a girl from the Moon Palace. Then, the crowd saw a few celestial beings move forwards. 4 beautiful women walked forwards. One of the girls said, If we want to break the deployment spell, each of us needs someone to protect us from the attacks. I'll help. Count me in. A few people immediately walked forwards. Since it's that way, Prince Dugu, Prince Yang Yen, Prince Tsang Xiao and Prince Qin Shang, please help, said the girl, smiling. The 4 guys then followed the women. Yang Yen followed Yiren Lei and smiled, It's an honor to help you. Can I help Yiren to break the deployment spell? Asked Lin Feng. He hadn't thought she'd help. Why didn't you ask before, Prince Lin Feng, said the girl, still smiling. I'll help you, said Qin Feng, walking to Lin Feng, I understand the deployment spell too, so I can help you. Alright, we can all help the celestial women, I guess, said Lin Feng indifferently. The beautiful woman smiled and said, Prince Lin Feng found out how to destroy it, so of course we can collaborate. I'm off then, said the woman next to Qin Shang smiling. Qin Shang didn't mind, he walked back with her. Alright, please start then, said the Prince of Sadness. Then, the 4 groups moved to 4 different corners, the women jumped onto the men's shoulders. Wait and listen to me, I'll tell you how to make the steps, and at the same time, you can block the attacks, said Yiren Lei to the group. Lin Feng raised his head, and Qin Feng lowered her head, I'll guide. Alright, said Lin Feng nodding. 3 steps leftwards, said Qin Feng. Lin Feng then made 3 steps leftwards, causing lights to move across and throughout the chessboard. 2 steps forwards. 1 rightward. 3 backwards, the 3 others moved at the same time. Dazzling lights filled the board, but surprisingly, the chessboard started cracking. Lin Feng was right, they needed 4 people to break it. 1 forward, said Qin Feng. The 3 other groups listened to her and moved at the same time, intertwining lights moved towards Lin Feng and the other men, but they all blocked them. Another piece broke, but they made a mistake, thought the crowd. Wrong step. Qin Feng realized her mistake and made everybody move back a step. After that, they continued moving. The 8 people were getting closer and closer to each other as they made their way to the center. If the Celestial Evolution Great Deployment spell was like that one, would they be able to break it too? Time passed slowly, and the groups were getting closer and closer to the center. They made many steps backwards, forwards, sideways, they tried everything. Qing Feng shouldn't understand deployment spells as well as me, thought Lin Feng. He didn't understand how the girls understood deployment spells so well, and what about Yi Renlei? Were they that strong or had someone taught them? Finally, they stopped, and the lights disappeared as the deployment spell broke apart. It really broke, thought the crowd. Bzzz. Suddenly, a silhouette rose up in the air and left. Working with such beautiful women is an honor, but I have some things to do, see you, said Duga the winner. Then, he left. Cao Shao also left quickly. They're leaving. Everyone knew that they were going back to their clans to inform them. Could that small deployment spell be related to the Celestial Evolution Great Deployment Spell, thought Lin Feng. Yang Yan didn't leave because the Holy Sun clan wasn't located in vast celestial ancient city. Yi Ren, celestial being, we were made for each other, said Yang Yan as he smiled at her. Don't offend the Moon Imperial Palace, said Yi Renlei to Lin Feng using telepathy. Why was she telling him that? Let's go to the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan, said Wu. Everybody wanted to break the Celestial Evolution Great Deployment spell now. People rose into the air and left, one after the other. Chapter 1687, 3 statues back at the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan's former site, many people still hadn't left. They had been waiting for someone to crack the code. Lin Feng, Qing Feng, and the others arrived to find that the deployment spell was still there, nobody had managed to break it yet. Those people all went back to their clans, but doesn't that mean that they're sure the deployment spell in the House of Sadness was closely related to the Celestial Evolution Great Deployment Spell, said Swan, he still couldn't believe it. The Celestial Evolution Great Deployment Spell really looks like the small one there. We'll see for ourselves anyways, so we don't need to worry about it, said Qing Feng calmly. Lin Feng looked calm as well. He wasn't worried, the strong cultivators from the holy clans knew what to do, they just had to wait for them. That bastard is still there, thought Lin Feng, glancing around. He was looking for a Taoist monk and found him seated, looking calm, as if he was standing aloof from worldly affairs. Suddenly, the ground started shaking and an explosive strength invaded the sky. Heaven strength. Are the elders from the Heaven clan arriving? Thought the crowd. Then, they heard him shout, everybody, move away, at least by 1,000 meters. The crowd frowned, the elders were going to start, but they were pushing them away. Yen Di opened his eyes and moved far away without hesitation. He didn't look surprised, as if he had anticipated everything. More lights appeared in sky. The crowd frowned again as an elder from the Duga clan appeared. They really were going to destroy the Celestial Evolution Great Deployment Spell. Let's go, said Qing Feng. The group moved away with everybody else. As they left, more elders from various holy clans appeared. From 1,000 meters away, Lin Feng gazed into the distance, but he couldn't see much. He whispered, I wonder if they can break the Celestial Evolution Great Deployment Spell, and if they do, what will appear? Maybe a small world, whispered Qing Feng. Dong! It was apparent that the strong cultivators had just started. The energies were very intense, exceeding everyone's expectations. How come the celestial women from the Moon Imperial Palace understand that kind of strength? Why did they break the small one? And why did Yi Renlei warn me like that, thought Lin Feng. Even if Qing Feng and Lin Feng hadn't gone there, the celestial women from the Moon Imperial Palace could have destroyed the deployment spell. The energies were starting to weaken. Since the energies were weakening, did that mean that the spell was going to break? Lin Feng looked at Yen Di, who looked confident and at ease. His eyes were closed as if he didn't care, but Lin Feng knew that it wasn't true. Boom! Suddenly, the crowd shivered as another terrifying strength emerged. Boom, boom, boom. Explosions continuously emanated from the board's direction. The crowd was curious, they wanted to know what was going on. Let's go. The great emperors from the holy clans started flying at full speed. The crowd frowned. Had they found anything? A holy great emperor was injured, but the celestial evolution holy clan's small world appeared. No, someone shouted furiously. Then the ground shook and explosion sounded again. Cosmic strength was dispersing, which meant that an emperor had died, but the crowd didn't know who had killed him. Let's go. Qin Feng and the others started flying at full speed. They had a special social status, so people wouldn't think of attacking them. Lin Feng made it back to the deployment spell, but as he approached, he realized that it had disappeared, just like Qin Feng had said. A palace had appeared underground. The celestial evolution great deployment spell was probably the entrance to a palace after all. Where are all the great emperors, thought the crowd. There was nobody around, even the other normal emperors had disappeared. Over there are some remnant mysterious marks, said someone inside the crowd. At that moment, very far away in the distance, some people had appeared. When they realized where they were furious. Who was the bastard that had casted the celestial evolution great deployment spell? After the holy great emperor had been injured, they had managed to break the deployment spell, but the entrance of the palace was a trap. After crossing it, they had reappeared very far away. They hadn't entirely broken it, there was still a terrifying teleportation portal to deal with. Instead of Celestial Evolution Great Deployment Spell, it should be called Celestial Teleportation Great Deployment Spell, an upset cultivator said. The ground quaked as threads of energies disappeared, revealing the real palace underground. But the crowd still hesitated, nobody dared go in, even emperors didn't dare. Good heavens, nobody is going in. I'm a Taoist priest so I should go in, it looks like a hell, said Yen Di as he entered the palace. After the holy marks had disappeared, he didn't fall into a trap, he was actually inside. Then other people started following him at full speed. They landed in a main hall, but there wasn't much inside, only 3 statues. The statue on the left looked like the wrecked statue of an old man. The statue on the right was an old man too, but he looked sharp. The one in the middle looked precious, there were 2 things in its hands, a golden book and a chessboard. It looked exactly like the Celestial Evolution chessboard. Wherever treasure exists, danger exists. If I won't experience hell, who will, said Yen Di as he walked towards the central statue. However, at that moment, a terrifying chi surrounded him, forcing him to stop. Then he shouted, "Good heavens, I'll stay aside." Then, Yen Di moved leftward, and strong cultivators followed him. That book looked like the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures. Boom! A few people immediately started running towards the book. Piss off, it's mine, the ground started trembling. They hadn't even gotten close to the book before they started fighting. I told you, when there are precious items, there's always danger, said Yen Di, sighing. He walked to the left side of the statue, which looked wrecked, and touched it. It seems like it was made for me, I'll take it, whispered Yen Di. Lin Feng's eyes flashed with insight. Since when was Yen Di so quick to give up? The Celestial Evolution chessboard and the ancient scriptures were there in front of him, but he didn't touch them. Instead, he ran towards a useless statue. Lin Feng trusted him so he immediately ran towards the statue on the right. Chapter 1688, Stealing, Stop. Just after Lin Feng started running, someone had shouted at him to stop. He turned around to see Yang Yan. Even though those statues are in the corners, who knows if they're precious treasures or not. So you better not touch them, said Yang Yan. That Taoist priest looked sly. Even though the statue on the left looked useless, Yang Yan couldn't possibly let them leave with it like that. They're stealing the precious treasures and you're not getting involved, but we're just taking useless things on the side and you want to get angry? Why, said Yen Di, smiling. Yang Yan was a young man from a holy clan, so he didn't rush. There were many people in that hall, many of which were strong cultivators from holy clans. There were many emperors, so even if those people stole treasures, would they be able to get away with them? You can't take those things in the corners, and that's final, said Yang Yen. Then a sun-like disc appeared in his hand and started rotating madly. Suddenly, the temperature began increasing in the hall. The disciples from the ancient holy clans all had terrifying weapons, and that sun disk he had could burn an emperor alive. Break, shouted Yang Yen. The crowd couldn't see anything anymore because the lights were too bright. Everything started burning, the palace itself even exploded. Then some people from the Holy Sun clan appeared and descended from the sky. Even though the palace was huge, the sun disk had still destroyed it. Dugu the winner slowly rose up in the air and his 360 imprint lights appeared, they intertwined and terrifying imprint strength invaded the sky. Those disciples all have precious treasures which can allow them to kill medium-level emperors, thought the crowd. Those disciples wouldn't use those items if they fought against people of the same level, however, when they were in real danger, they wouldn't hesitate to use them. Tsang Shao had a heavenly king's armor and the ancient sorcerer had a sorcerer's staff. Yen Di and Lin Feng were closest to the statues, Yen Di was closest to the wrecked old man's statue and Lin Feng to the other one. Even though they were close, they didn't get any closer. Yang Yen released energies which surrounded Lin Feng. Lin Feng thought, if I have the opportunity, I really have to kill that boy. He's too dangerous, especially with his great imperial weapon. Boom, suddenly more fire fell. The crowd saw a gigantic beast which had 3 legs and looked like a sun. It was a 3-legged golden crow. His sun helmet was dazzling as lights surrounded his body. That sun helmet was probably his ace weapon. Lin Feng, don't forget to take the statue, but don't try to take the things in the middle, said Yen Di to Lin Feng using telepathy. Lin Feng was speechless. Did Yen Di know everything? Did he already know about those statues? Alright, replied Lin Feng using telepathy. But considering the situation, I don't think I can take anything. Your friend is from the World Clan, you don't need to worry if he's here, replied Yen Di. And that girl is from the Animal Clan. If you can become intimate with her, don't hesitate, you could benefit from her a lot. I'd reckon that nobody would dare attack you in vast celestial ancient city if you were in a relationship with her. Don't you have any treasures you could lend me? Asked Lin Feng. Piss off. I'm letting you take that statue, which is already a nice gift, said Yen Di. Alright, I'm off. You have to rely on yourself now. Meh, Lin Feng didn't know what else to say. Suddenly, Yen Di jumped and grabbed the statue. With it, he quickly left. Finally, Yang Yen couldn't hold it anymore, and he decided to chase him. I'm not playing with you anymore. The sky shook as a deployment spell appeared. The crowd saw flames engulf the space where Yen Di had been, but he reappeared far away in the distance. Bastard! Yang Yen was furious. Yen Di had taken away the statue of the old man, which must have meant that it was a precious treasure. His sun disk started flying at full speed behind Yen Di. You idiotic kid, if I come back you'll regret it, shouted a loud voice in the distance. Then some deployment marks exploded, and Yen Di disappeared. With that, the sun disk started cracking, and Yen Di appeared even farther in the horizon. Piss off, shouted Wu at that moment. He was attacking Yang Yen with his sun helmet. Yang Yen was pushed away by Wu. He was furious, especially that Wu was attacking him now. That bastard left and caused a ruckus, thought Lin Feng. He had stolen a statue, but those people didn't want to take the risk in chasing him. Right after that, a few emperors ran towards Lin Feng, they wanted to steal the statue he still hadn't managed to steal. Talismans appeared in Lin Feng's left hand, and his silver wings appeared and surrounded him. At the same time, he released wind and empty space energy as he dashed forward to steal it. Lin Feng landed in front of the statue and he immediately took it. Humph, someone groaned coldly. The strong cultivator's attacks were terrifying, but Lin Feng had talismans, and just like Yan Di, he disappeared. Then, he reappeared in front of Lang Yi. With his talismans, he couldn't teleport himself as far as Yan Di, but at least he could escape. Boom! Lang Yi took out his coffin, making the crowd frown. Chapter 1689, Stopped, Lang Yi, don't get involved, said the emperors, coldly glancing at Lin Feng. Piss off, said Lang Yi, making the emperors look depressed. Even though Lang Yi was a member of the World Clan, so if they hadn't been emperors, they would have been attacked. They were Lang Ye's elders, but Lang Yi was still being impolite in front of them. But he had the king body, so ordinary emperors couldn't necessarily compete with him. Besides, he had a coffin which probably contained terrifying energies. Give us the item or we'll kill you, said a cultivator at the very top of the Zun Qi layer. He took out a precious item which looked like a thunder hammer. It was a high-level imperial weapon, at least level 7. At that moment, there weren't just strong cultivators from holy clans. There were also many people from ordinary clans who were unhappy. I must leave as soon as possible. The statue in the middle might really be fake, so if I stay, the situation might get even worse, thought Lin Feng. He glanced at the crowd, noting some low-level and medium-level emperors, and then some cultivators of the very top of the Zun Qi layer. The strongest people were trying to steal the other statue. Then suddenly, Lin Feng started moving like the wind, trying to escape. The strong cultivators frowned. You think you can escape, said that young man in a cold way. The strong cultivators all started running at the same time, chasing Lin Feng. At the same time, Lin Feng threw a talisman behind him, and sword lights also appeared. Then, terrifying destructive energies exploded around them. He had used cosmic energies to make those talismans, so the strong cultivators who had reacted first were struck hard. Slash! A subtle sound could be heard as Lin Feng took out a silver spear and pierced a person's head. The cosmic energies exploded, and the strong cultivators were astonished to see that he had just killed an emperor. You must want to die, shouted one of them furiously. Terrifying cosmic energies whistled, and Lin Feng felt like he was in a cage. He threw more talismans and disappeared. Lang Yi groaned coldly, then his coffin became gigantic and blotted out the sky. Be careful, shouted one of them. The crowd started running around like madmen. However, the coffin became dazzling and grew to be thousands of meters long. Lang Yi shook his hands and the world coffin turned into a gigantic wooden coffin. The strong cultivators who were chasing them had disappeared. Lin Feng continued running away, moving like the wind. Outside the coffin, the remaining crowd was looking at Lin Feng. They hesitated, but in the end, they decided to chase him. An emperor landed in front of Lin Feng and released golden cosmic energies. Lin Feng threw another talisman which landed on the golden hand. Lin Feng then hit the talisman with his spear and it exploded. Without hesitation, Lin Feng continued running away. At the same time, his spear had disappeared. Slash! The spear which had disappeared, reappeared again, piercing through that person's brain. He looked dumbfounded just before his head exploded. Lin Feng ran towards the spear and took it back. Gotcha! Lightning was falling from the sky. Lin Feng immediately used more talismans and disappeared. You can't escape, shouted the young man who possessed the thunder hammer. Lin Feng instantly became stuck inside a thunder cage as he shouted that. Lin Feng turned around and saw the young man in the distance. He was running towards him. Give me the item and I won't kill you, said the young man. Lin Feng and Lang Yi were friends, so if he killed Lin Feng, Lang Yi would probably become his enemy. At that moment, Lang Yi was stuck because the cultivators from the Holy Sun clan had prevented him from going ahead. Do you know who I am? Shouted Lin Feng in a cold way. Curse, die, shouted Lin Feng explosively. Suddenly, terrifying cursing, death, and demon energies emerged. The young man started trembling, his eyes especially hurt. "Attack!" shouted Lin Feng again. Terrifying sword lights appeared and he cut one of the young man's arms off. He was holding his hammer in that hand, so the hammer and the arm fell together. At the same time, Lin Feng continued moving like the wind. The young man came back to his senses, his face had turned deathly pale. The young man wanted to use his right hand to attack, but then he realized it was gone. The silver spear was already moving towards him at full speed. The young man looked furious and desperate, he didn't want to die. Lin Feng didn't stop at all, he continued running away. He immediately grabbed the hand which was holding the hammer and took it. "You must die," said a strong cultivator in the distance. However, suddenly, the coffin descended from the sky and crushed him. "The book is empty," said Dugu the winner at that moment. He had taken the one-paged golden scripture, and even though it was sealed, he broke it, and found it to be empty. "Fake?" The crowd was astonished. Yang Yan also looked furious, he looked at Dugu the winner and said, "Show me." The crowd looked at Dugu the winner, they couldn't trust him, they had to check themselves. "I'm not lying." "Here, take it," said Dugu the winner as he threw the book. Yang Yan caught it and suddenly, he looked furious. He looked at the chessboard and said, "Is the celestial evolution chessboard fake too? Just have a look and you'll see." Wu started moving at full speed, and nobody tried to fight against him. He immediately took the chessboard and broke it. They had fought over a fake item. "And the statue?" said someone. Then, a sun disk immediately moved towards the statue and burnt it, leaving nothing left. "It was all nothing, we were fooled," shouted Yang Yan. "Not only us, but a holy emperor was also injured. The emperors and great emperors were teleported away, and in the end, there's nothing to show for it. The celestial evolution great deployment spell fooled everyone." "Not necessarily, why would they have cast a celestial evolution great deployment spell here otherwise? On top of that, it was extremely powerful. Do you remember the statues on the left and right? Indeed, the stinky Taoist priest came in first and took the statue on the left and then ran away. He must have known something," said Yang Yan. "And the one with the body which allows him to understand 10 different types of abstruse energies, he took the one on the right and then left," said Song Shao. The crowd frowned, releasing powerful qi in their frustration. Lang Yi also looked surprised after he heard the young man. It was as if Lin Feng knew the Taoist priest, and that he might have obtained something. "Apart from the celestial evolution holy scriptures, none of you are interested in the other items, I guess. If anyone dares kill Lin Feng, they'll become the enemies of the World Clan," said Lang Yi indifferently. Then, he put his world coffin away and left. "How arrogant," said Wu, his eyes were filled with flames of fury. He went to Qin Feng and said, "Can you find him?" "Mind your own business," said Qin Feng coldly. Then, she left too. What about the celestial evolution holy scriptures? She didn't believe that the celestial evolution holy scriptures were in the celestial evolution holy clan. Chapter 1690, Celestial Evolution Chessboard. After leaving, Lin Feng put on a mask and a new robe. Then, he went back to the hotel where he had left Xiao Yuxian, however, he didn't find her there. Maybe she just went for a walk, thought Lin Feng. He had chosen a small hotel which wasn't easy to find. The hotel he had chosen was expensive, but there were hidden rooms for people to practice cultivation without being disturbed. Lin Feng went to the hidden room and took out the statue. Then he inspected it with his godly awareness, but he didn't find anything. A gigantic hand emerged from Lin Feng and attacked the statue. The statue was reduced to ashes and a chessboard remained. The chessboard was surrounded by pale dark lights, looking alive. Celestial Evolution Chessboard. Lin Feng frowned. That chessboard looked like the one the statue in the middle of the palace was holding. Since the chessboard was hidden inside, nobody had tried to steal it. Lin Feng inspected the chessboard with his godly awareness. Suddenly, Lin Feng started shaking violently. He couldn't control his godly awareness anymore as it was being absorbed by the chessboard at a frantic rate. After a short time, Lin Feng couldn't sense his physical body anymore. It was as if his body had become the chessboard, feeling like a vast world. The pieces suddenly appeared in his brain and a special connection between Lin Feng and the celestial evolution chessboard was created. Celestial evolution. The 10,000 things of creation evolve, just like in the real world, thought Lin Feng, closing his eyes. He felt comfortable as he studied that mysterious world. He was in a great state of mind. Evolution. Lin Feng explored the world of the chessboard, watching the pieces move extremely quickly, evolving. Lin Feng tried making the pieces move, and sometimes it worked, but sometimes it didn't. After a short time, a gigantic deployment spell appeared. How terrifying, it can help me control the evolution, thought Lin Feng. He could borrow the strength of the deployment spell, and if he managed to study the celestial evolution holy scriptures to the level that the strong cultivator who had created them had, then he'd be able to control evolution. The one who had pretended to be Dugu the winner could imitate other people because he controlled some evolution techniques. Deployment spells, sword techniques, abstruse energies. Lin Feng tried different things while borrowing the strength of the celestial evolution chessboard. How can I break through to the Huang Qi layer though, thought Lin Feng. He continued borrowing the strength of the chessboard as a clone of Lin Feng appeared and started carrying out attacks. At the same time, another clone of Lin Feng appeared and started practicing cultivation meticulously. As Lin Feng spectated, numerous clones of Lin Feng appeared and did different things. Boom! The chessboard broke apart and everything was reduced to ashes. I failed at making things evolve, thought Lin Feng. That celestial evolution chessboard was very mysterious, and it might be that he wasn't strong enough yet. One thing was certain though, the celestial evolution chessboard was extremely powerful. Lin Feng noticed that there were some pieces which were twinkling. Then he realized that they weren't pieces, they seemed to be entirely made of evolution strength. Suddenly, evolution strength appeared in Lin Feng's mind, seemingly wanting to fuse together with Lin Feng's godly awareness. It really works, thought Lin Feng. Surprisingly, he could absorb evolution strength. What is the celestial evolution chessboard? The celestial evolution holy scriptures might also be able to help me control evolution strength, thought Lin Feng. He was in a deep meditative state which made him forget everything else around him. Everyone in vast celestial ancient city were looking for two people, the Taoist priest and Lin Feng. The Taoist priest was suspected to know a lot about the celestial evolution holy clan, probably having stolen the most terrifying treasure, the celestial evolution holy scriptures. And Lin Feng, even if they didn't kill him, they had to get the statue he had stolen. There was another important problem. Who had blocked the strong cultivators? Was it the Taoist priest? They hadn't forgotten about the extremely strong cultivators who had broken the deployment spell after Qin Feng and some celestial women from the Moon Imperial Palace had broken the deployment spell in the House of Sadness. What was the connection between all them? And why had the extremely strong cultivators who had broken the celestial evolution great deployment spell been teleported so far away? Everything was mysterious. The ancient holy clans didn't target the Moon Imperial Palace, they were only speculating things now. No matter what, the connections between the Moon Imperial Palace and the holy clans was too mysterious. Some night after the event, Lang Yi was at his residence with a woman. She was red and breathing quickly, her breasts were moving up and down as she inhaled and exhaled deeply. Lang Yi looked at her with an indescribable feeling. Why? Asked Lang Yi. He didn't understand. Why had she done that? It was her first time, and even though she was very shy, she had loved it. You're asking me why? The woman looked back at Lang Yi. Then she stood up and put her clothes back on. She had tears in the corner of her eyes. If you can't stand it, "Then let's never meet again," said the girl walking to the window. Moonlight was shining upon her body as she jumped out of the window. Lang Yi didn't chase her, instead he walked to the window to watch her leave, but she had already disappeared. He saw a teardrop fall from the sky as thought that he would never see her again. He felt extremely sad. Apart from being a cultivator, he was also a man, a human being with emotions. Cultivation is about emotionlessness, but how can people be emotionless, whispered Lang Yi, looking out of the window. Even if you don't have goals, I won't let anyone else touch you. Then, Lang Yi suddenly looked furious. Lang Yi didn't understand why she had done that. Even if she had said it was without emotions, for him, it couldn't be that. After spending the night with her, feelings had arisen in his heart. He couldn't forget about her, and he couldn't let anyone else to touch her. Chapter 1691, Goddess, Moon Imperial Palace, whispered Lang Yi. His heart was racing, he hadn't thought that he'd get involved. Was he the only one? Could those women use other methods to make young people from other holy clans fall in love with them? Back then, the great Netherworld Demon Emperor fell because of love, so maybe something like this had happened to him. Though, it was more tragic for the great Netherworld Demon Emperor because he had fallen in love with Empress Shi, whispered Lang Yi. At that moment, a silhouette flickered. Lang Yi said, "Who?" "Me," said Lin Feng, appearing at the window. He didn't know what Lang Yi was looking at, it looked like he was just gazing into the distance. He didn't look like someone blessed with a king body, but someone who was depressed. "You came back. Do you know how many people are looking for you in vast celestial ancient city?" asked Lang Yi to Lin Feng. "I've been staying in a hotel nearby, I haven't been anywhere else," whispered Lin Feng. "Lang Yi, did you see my wife?" Xiao Yuxian had disappeared and Lin Feng didn't know where she was. "You don't know where she is either," Lang Yi said. Lin Feng's heart started accelerating. "When did she leave?" "When you left, and I didn't see her again." "I thought you knew where she went," said Lang Yi. "Yuxian wouldn't leave without telling me unless mercilessness invaded her heart," thought Lin Feng. But even so, where was she? Lin Feng turned around and gazed into the distance, then he whispered, "Empress Shi, did you appear?" "Empress Shi?" Lang Yi was confused. Did Lin Feng know about Empress Shi? "You know Empress Shi?" Lin Feng asked Lang Yi. "Of course, thousands of years ago, Empress Shi appeared in the Moon Imperial Palace. She was extremely cold, beautiful, perfect. After seeing her, people wouldn't want to have sex because she supposedly looked as pure as jade and as clean as ice. Everybody who knew her talked highly of her. Amongst the people from vast celestial ancient city, the great Netherworld Demon Emperor doted her the most," said Lang Yi. "Some people say that the Moon Imperial Palace disappeared thousands of years ago and that it has something to do with Empress Shi obtaining some ancient scriptures. There are also some links between the holy clans and the Moon Imperial Palace, the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan was one of them," continued Lang Yi. "Someone wanted to kill me, an imitator, and it seemed like he knew some of the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures. Could it be someone from the Moonlight Palace? At the same time, Yu Xin, indeed, the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures," thought Lin Feng. The Moon Imperial Palace had the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures, so Yi Renlei and the other women probably learned them after they joined Moon Imperial Palace. That would explain how they had managed to break the deployment spell. The Moon Imperial Palace has the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures. Lin Feng suddenly said. Lang Yi's eyes flashed. Lang Yi nodded and said, "Possibly, and not just the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures. The Moon Imperial Palace doesn't fear other holy clans, so they don't mind if other people know that they have them either," said Lin Feng. "Seems like it," said Lang Yi nodding. 1,000 years ago, the Moon Imperial Palace disappeared, but what exactly happened? Did a battle happen? And today, they reappeared, but the other holy clans won't attack them, even if they know about the celestial evolution holy scriptures, said Lin Feng. Lang Yi looked pensive, he hadn't thought about all those things. If the Three Lives Great Emperor really destroyed the celestial evolution holy clan, we can be sure that there's a relation between the Three Lives Great Emperor and Empress Shi. Maybe that back then, the holy clans had attacked the Moon Imperial Palace, but then the celestial evolution holy clan had been destroyed, so maybe they had stopped because of that. And now the Moon Imperial Palace reappeared only because Empress Shi came back to life. Lin Feng turned around and left. Goddess, Empress Shi's grave. He remembered that, it was written on Empress Shi's grave. Empress Shi was the Three Lives Great Emperor's daughter, it had to be, that was why the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan had been destroyed and the Moon Imperial Palace had disappeared. Empress Shi had come back to life, so Lin Feng didn't need to ask himself where Wuxia was anymore. She had probably gone to the Moon Imperial Palace. Lin Feng left quickly, leaving Lang Yi with a lot of thoughts. Lin Feng had told him about the mysteries from 1,000 years before, that Empress Shi and the Three Lives Great Emperor were related, and that Empress Shi had come back to life now. How did Lin Feng know that she had come back to life? After Empress Shi's rebirth, the Moon Palace had reappeared and caused friction inside vast celestial ancient city. In Lin Feng's eyes, she was amazing, but she was also insane. She would do anything for ancient scriptures as all she cared about was cultivation. Lin Feng didn't hurry to go and find Xiao Yuxian. Even if he found her and Empress Shi was with her, Lin Feng wouldn't be able to leave with her. What he needed to do now was to break through to the Huangqi layer. Lin Feng would soon know everything about the Moon Imperial Palace, the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures, and Celestial Evolution Holy Clan. Many people were talking about the Moon Imperial Palace, everyone thought that they had the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures given that they didn't seem afraid of the other holy clans. Nobody attacked them, and nobody went to ask for an exchange. Even though the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures were powerful holy clans didn't study ancient scriptures that much. They usually transmitted their most precious knowledge to a few core disciples. Stealing ancient scriptures from others would be too risky since other clans might attack them to steal them, and they'd lose countless people. But all of that had nothing to do with Lin Feng. He was in the secret room practicing cultivation, not leaving his hotel. After some time, some incredible things happened in vast celestial ancient city. The Heaven clan had apparently found the stinky Taoist priest who had obtained treasures, and they had tried to kill him, but in the end, he had killed a dozen of their emperors, including 3 medium-level emperors. They had dispatched more strong cultivators, but they had lost him by then. Besides that, many more young people from ancient clans came to vast celestial ancient city to gain experience. The geniuses from the larger holy clans fought against them to practice. Dugu the winner was the first one to break through to the Huangqi layer. A month later, Zhang Xiao was fighting against Qin Shang in the Moonlight Palace. The battle was insane, and, in the end, he broke through to the Huangqi layer and defeated Qin Shang. After that battle, one day later, Lang Yi and Chu Chun Qiu, who had seemingly disappeared for a while, appeared again, but this time they were emperors. Rumor had it that they had fought like madmen to break through to the Huangqi layer together. Within just 3 months, 4 geniuses had broken through to the Huangqi layer. During a calm and peaceful night, the moon was high above in the sky, and by the ice moon lake where the Moon Imperial Palace was, many young people were together on a boat. By the lake, a young man walked slowly to the lakeside and stopped. He looked at the pavilions and boats on the lakes calmly. That's the one who possesses a body which allows him to understand 10 different types of abstruse energies, said some people when they noticed Lin Feng. Many people looked at him and said, "It's Lin Feng." Lin Feng. A strong wind started blowing as Zhang Xiao crossed the lake, flying. "Long time no see," said Zhang Xiao, smiling at Lin Feng. However, he didn't look friendly, he looked strange. He had broken through to the Huangqi layer. Chapter 1692, Cosmic Energy Not Falling. The Moon Imperial Palace had changed, there were more lights and there were plenty of beautiful women under all the pavilions, sitting with other people, drinking and chatting. Lang Yi and many other people from the holy clans were there, chatting with the celestial women. Lang Yi was with everyone else when they saw Lin Feng as they ran out of the pavilions. Yi Renlei didn't move when she saw Lin Feng, she just smiled thinly, even though a moment before she looked depressed and angry. The opposite happened to Yang Yan who was sitting with her, a moment before he looked happy, and now he looked very upset. Yi Renlei always looked angry when she was with him, but she always looked so happy when she saw Lin Feng. Yang Yan looked at Lin Feng in a cold way. He wanted to kill Lin Feng and make Yi Renlei kneel before him. Whether it was anger or seduction, he didn't care, he just wanted her. Lin Feng looked at Song Xiao, noticing that he had broken through to the Huang Qi layer. "Brother Song Xiao, I trust you have been doing well since we last met," said Lin Feng, smiling thinly. "Indeed, brother Lin Feng, I missed you. Did you find the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures in the statue you took from the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan last time?" Song Xiao asked calmly. Many people looked excited. A few months before, the Taoist priest and Lin Feng had each stolen a statue. "Brother Song Xiao, how would knowing that I found a treasure change anything for you?" said Lin Feng in a cold way. "If you have the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures, I would like to borrow them," said Song Xiao, smiling. All the other young people from the other holy clans smiled too. If Lin Feng had the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures, they would definitely want to have a look. "I never said I was willing to show you," said Lin Feng calmly. "Brother Lin, you must be joking. My Heaven clan has the Heaven Scriptures, so I could lend them to you and you could lend me yours. I hadn't offered you our scriptures before because I thought you wouldn't be able to understand them," said Song Xiao indifferently, perhaps a slight bit coldly. "I can't lend you the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures because I also think you wouldn't be able to understand them," replied Lin Feng. Then, he stopped looking at Song Xiao and sat down by the lake with his feet in the water. Song Xiao looked angry when he saw Lin Feng sit down, close his eyes, and ignore him. "Brother Lin, I would be very sad if you didn't show me the Celestial Evolution Holy Scriptures," said Song Xiao, not trying to conceal his anger any longer. The sky shook as cosmic energies suddenly appeared. Terrifying heaven strength oppressed Lin Feng, making him feel like he was going to suffocate. Heaven technique, the energy of creation, the life of both earth and sky. Around Dugu the winner, 3,600 dazzling imprint lights appeared. Although Chu Chun Chiu only released a little bit of qi, everybody could feel its grand pressure. Lang Yi looked at Lin Feng in a strange way, but he just calmly watched, not involving himself. Lin Feng was oppressed by the energies, but he was still seated as if the outside world had nothing to do with him. "Brother Lin, if you remain silent, I'll get angry," said Song Xiao, smiling coldly. Lin Feng remained silent, but threads of demonic energies appeared indistinctly around him. "Humph." Song Xiao groaned coldly. Suddenly, buzzing sounds could be heard as heaven cosmic energy condensed in the air and a gigantic heavenly hand moved towards Lin Feng. Boom! The terrifying heavenly hand descended, seemingly capable of destroying the entire region. The crowd had already started worrying for Lin Feng, thinking that he was going to die. However, at that moment, a gigantic demon clad in armor and holding a sword, appeared behind Lin Feng. His eyes were also pitch black, and he seemingly hated the heavenly energies. At the same time, Lin Feng released sword energies and condensed a pitch black sword. Kacha. The gigantic heavenly hand was reduced to nothing after the sword demon acted. Lin Feng was now surrounded by demon strength, demonic intent rolled in waves. Song Xiao shouted furiously as he shook his hand, releasing even more cosmic energies. Then he condensed another gigantic heavenly hand. "I'll see how many you can endure," Song Xiao yelled. His heavenly hand blotted out the sky and looked indestructible. The demon roared furiously as it attacked the hand, and even though the demon broke apart, the heavenly hand had weakened a lot. The heavenly hand was very powerful, so strong that demonic intent alone couldn't block it. Finally, the heavenly hand crashed onto Lin Feng's body, making Lin Feng groan coldly, coughing up blood. However, his eyes were still open, and he looked angry. He had to resist. What is he doing? Thought the crowd after they saw Lin Feng taking the hit. Although Lang Yez thought about acting, he remained motionless. Back in the ancient pavilion, Yiren Lei looked worried. Yang Yen noticed her worry and smiled coldly, a stupid guy who understands 10 different types of abstruse energies, but nobody knows him. He's a nobody here, so nobody will let him off, whether he obtained the ancient scriptures or not. Yiren Lei understood what Yang Yen was saying, she even agreed with him. No matter what, whether Lin Feng had obtained treasures or not, nobody was going to let him off. More threads of heavenly strength appeared in the air, destroying the remaining threads of demonic intent, and then assaulting Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng coughed up even more blood, but he looked determined, as if he didn't feel the pain. After that, Cao Xiao jumped forwards and released more heavenly cosmic energies. "How reckless," shouted Cao Xiao. He shook his hands and a terrifying heavenly hand condensed again. "Die!" shouted Cao Xiao furiously. The heavenly hand descended, but Lin Feng suddenly opened his eyes and raised his head. Demonic lights turned into a demon cloud, surrounding his body with pitch-black demonic energies. Demon energy rolled in waves in the sky and collided against the heavenly hand. The sky shook as the heavenly hand broke apart, leaving the crowd in awe. Cosmic strength, the crowd was fixedly staring at Lin Feng. Cosmic energy had broken the heavenly hand. At that moment, Lin Feng slowly stood up as demonic energies continued rolling in waves. Another demon king appeared behind him. He shook his hands and demonic cosmic energies started floating in the air. Surprisingly, he started understanding cosmic energies while fighting against Cao Xiao. Is he trying to use Cao Xiao to break through to the Huang Qi layer, thought the crowd. Back in the ancient pavilion, Yiren Lei looked at Lin Feng and smiled. Yang Yen of course noticed this and looked even worse because it. Within 3 months, 4 people had broken through to the Huang Qi layer, and now was Lin Feng going to break through to the Huang Qi layer too? In the sky, a demonic cloud started condensing. The cosmic energies from the earth and sky are going to fall upon him, thought the crowd. Cao Xiao also looked at him, looking upset. Lin Feng was just using him to break through to the Huang Qi layer. Even if you break through to the Huang Qi layer now, so what? I was just playing with you till now. Even if you break through to the Huang Qi layer, I will still defeat you, said Cao Xiao. Lin Feng looked at the sky, at the demon energies, and then he closed his eyes and sensed the cosmic energies cleansing his body. Everybody was fixedly staring at Lin Feng. They wanted to see the cosmic energies descend from the sky. However, demon energies just rolled in waves for a very long time and nothing happened. The crowd looked at him in a strange way. The cosmic energies were supposed to pierce through the sky. Lin Feng opened his eyes. He could sense that he had broken through to the Huang Qi layer, but he didn't know why the cosmic energies hadn't fallen on him. Cosmic energy penetrating the body of the cultivator was the last step before breaking through to the Huang Qi layer. Everybody was waiting, some of them even looked nervous. The demonic clouds rolled in the air for a long time, but in the end, they started dispersing and finally disappeared altogether. Chapter 1693, Imperial Culpa. Abandoned by the gods, the cosmic energies didn't descend from the sky. The crowd frowned. What was going on? Lin Feng could now control cosmic energies, so his body should have been cleansed by the cosmic energies. The crowd didn't understand, and Lin Feng didn't understand either. His force was multiplied by 1,000, his cultivation level was at the right level, his energies had almost turned into cosmic energies, and his demonic cosmic energies had started condensing. I've broken through to the Huang-Chi layer, but the cosmic energies didn't fall down upon me. What did I do to upset the gods, thought Lin Feng. Imperial Culpa, said Duga the winner, making the crowd frown. Imperial Culpa? Did Imperial Culpas really exist? According to legends, Imperial Culpas were people who could never entirely break through to the Huang-Chi layer. Was Lin Feng an Imperial Culpa? Maybe he couldn't break through to the Huang-Chi layer. Interesting, said Song Xiao, smiling indifferently before adding, it's the first time I've seen an Imperial Culpa. It means that you'll never really break through to the Huang-Chi layer. Now, you should just give up. You don't deserve to break through to the Huang-Chi layer anyways. Give me the celestial evolution holy scriptures and leave, go and live in a village as an ordinary cultivator. Vast celestial ancient city is too big for you. May the gods not curse me, prayed Lin Feng. He then said to Song Xiao, I was born in an ordinary clan, and I didn't start practicing cultivation until I was 15 years old. I never received anything to help me level up quickly, including medicine, but now that my abstruse energies are almost all at the highest level, you're telling me that I don't deserve to break through to the Huang-Chi layer. Lin Feng's heart was pounding violently, he was very worried. He had already become an emperor, but the cosmic energies hadn't fallen from the sky. People were already calling him an Imperial Culpa, but he couldn't give up. He had to make even greater efforts. Song Xiao looked at Lin Feng in a cold way and said, so what? If you really are an Imperial Culpa, it means that you will never break through to the Huang-Chi layer, which means that your cultivation is stuck, forever. That's a fact. Even if Imperial Culpas exist, I can just switch to another kind of strength if I can't become an emperor using demonic strength, said Lin Feng. You don't know how to differentiate good from bad, said Song Xiao. He shook his hand and suddenly heavenly energy started oppressing Lin Feng. Lin Feng stared at Song Xiao, his eyes were filled with demon lights. Then, his demonic cosmic energy became thicker and more intense. Die, shouted Lin Feng furiously. Lin Feng was using his Nihility Xana waves. Song Xiao's heavenly hand broke instantly fell apart and the terrifying Nihility Xana waves crashed onto him. Song Xiao looked upset, that was the first time Lin Feng had managed to completely break his heavenly hand. Piss off. Song Xiao shook his hand again and heavenly energies condensed into several pairs of heavenly hands. Then they surrounded Lin Feng and moved towards him at full speed. Stop, shouted Song Xiao. His heaven energies rolled in waves towards Lin Feng. At that moment, Song Xiao and Lin Feng were fighting using their best strength. Lin Feng released more demonic energies, his cosmic energies were continuing to become more powerful. He jumped forwards and the heavenly strength exploded, death and wind energies threatening Song Xiao. It was Lin Feng's Vayu death attack mixed with earth energy. Song Xiao suddenly released terrifying heavenly energies. Explode, shouted Song Xiao, stretching out his hand. Heaven energies surrounded the Vayu death attack and destroyed it. The crowd frowned, Song Xiao seemed like he really wanted to kill Lin Feng. Even though Lin Feng controls demonic cosmic energies, his body hasn't been cleansed by the cosmic energies of the earth and sky, which means that he can't borrow the cosmic energies from the earth and sky. In a real fight, Song Xiao should definitely kill Lin Feng, thought the crowd. A demon silhouette appeared, making Lin Feng look like an aggressive demon. He didn't fear Song Xiao, even if his heavenly energies were intensifying. I'll show you what we call heavenly strength, said Song Xiao. 16 heavenly lights appeared and surrounded Lin Feng, at the same time, he ran towards Lin Feng. Boom! A terrifying earth energy suddenly emerged, and Lin Feng's Nihility Xana waves moved in all directions. Then Lin Feng started running like the wind. Break! Lin Feng punched the air in Song Xiao's direction while releasing demonic cosmic energy and earth abstruse energy. He threw himself at the heavenly hand, groaning coldly. He was surrounded by demon and earth lights, and suddenly, fire started burning around him. If demonic energies won't fall from the sky, what about earth ones? Shouted Lin Feng furiously. His earth energies were becoming thicker. The crowd was slack-jawed, his earth abstruse energy had just turned into earth cosmic energy. The earth strength condensed in the sky and a tornado appeared again. The crowd stared at it, wondering if the cosmic energy was going to cleanse Lin Feng's body this time. Zhang Xiao stopped attacking Lin Feng and looked at the sky too. The terrifying cosmic energy turned into a cloud which rolled in waves for a very long time, just like the previous time. The crowd looked sorry for Lin Feng. Once again, his cosmic energy had dispersed. The cosmic energies didn't descend from the sky. What a pity, thought many people. Lin Feng was a real genius. He had understood two types of cosmic energies in such a short time, but he had encountered a malediction, and cosmic energy wouldn't cleanse his body. Poor him, said Yang Yan, smiling indifferently. An imperial culpa, even if you understand other kinds of cosmic energies, you'll never be able to break through to the Huang Qi layer, said Zhang Xiao mockingly. Lin Feng looked at him in a cold way and said, if life doesn't want me, then death will. Lin Feng condensed death energy into his fist, looking furious as the air around him began distorting. Break! Lin Feng punched the air, his punch contained both earth and demon cosmic energies. Humph! Zhang Xiao groaned coldly and another heavenly hand moved towards Lin Feng's punch. They collided, but the hand only contained one type of cosmic energy, so it couldn't resist Lin Feng's attack, so it immediately broke apart. Get ready to die, said Zhang Xiao as he punched the air again. Another heavenly hand appeared, and the sky shook as it turned into a cage. Lin Feng attacked with earth energies and released death strength while shouting, die. It's useless, said Zhang Xiao. Die. Lin Feng shouted again, fearlessly. He released two threads of sword energies, each mostly containing death strength. Heavenly King Imprint, shouted Zhang Xiao furiously. Heavenly lights condensed all around him and then he moved towards Lin Feng. Earth armor, said Lin Feng. Earth cosmic energies surrounded his body, and demonic lights twinkled on the surface of the armor. As the Heavenly King Imprint moved towards Lin Feng, his armor broke apart, and a terrifying strength penetrated his body. Lin Feng ignored the pain. He had to ignore pain if he wanted to break through to the Huang Qi layer. If the gods didn't want him to become an emperor, then he had to find his own way. Die, a gigantic word appeared in the sky, death. Zhang Xiao sensed death energy surround his body, forcing him to suddenly move back. His face had already slightly turned gray. As he was pushed back, Lin Feng released even more death energy, and apart from death energy, he also released demon and earth energies which were fused together. Heavenly energy was rolling in waves in the sky, but the three types of cosmic energies kept assaulting it, turning the sky gray. What a scary cultivator, thought the crowd, looking at Lin Feng and shaking. Three kinds of cosmic energies now, but there were still no cosmic energies wanting to cleanse his body. Chapter 1694, 7 Sorts of Cosmic Energies. Zhang Xiao kept running away. He was shaking violently as demon, earth, and death cosmic energies were all chasing him. Luckily, Lin Feng hadn't been cleansed by the cosmic energies, otherwise he would have posed a threat to Zhang Xiao. What a guy, thought Lang Yi, staring at Lin Feng. He knew that Lin Feng was depressed, but he was a real genius. Even the gods were against him by preventing their cosmic energy from cleansing his body. Lin Feng fixedly stared at the cloud made of 3 different types of cosmic energies. But still, no cosmic energy descended. Arg! Lin Feng shouted furiously, more lights glowed around him. His cursing, empty space, fire, wind and thunder abstruse energies were all at the maximum level, and he was only one step away from breaking through to the Huang Qi layer. His cosmic energies and abstruse energies whistled all together in the sky. Everybody looked nervous as they watched the gods trick Lin Feng again. Lin Feng's eyes were still pitch black as he stared at the sky. "If the gods abandon me, I'll defy the heavens," shouted Lin Feng. Back in a pavilion, Yi Renlei was looking sad for him. "My love, you can do it." "Die," shouted Lin Feng. His eyes were pitch black and filled with death. Song Zhao's heart started beating faster when he looked at those eyes. "I will definitely kill you today," said Song Zhao, releasing even more heavenly energies. An ocean of heavenly energies moved towards Lin Feng. A demon appeared behind Lin Feng, pushing more and more demonic energies in the sky. "Imprison." Lin Feng jumped and released earth cosmic energies which formed a cage around Song Zhao. "Death curse," shouted Lin Feng. Song Zhao performed some hand seals, and then a vortex of heavenly strength appeared in front of Lin Feng, trying to absorb him. "Destroy." Lin Feng jumped forwards, and a demonic territory appeared, sealing the space. Then an infinite amount of sword energies emerged from Lin Feng's body and rose up to the skies. "Heavenly hand, appear," shouted Song Zhao, releasing more heavenly cosmic energies. His spirit appeared behind him, a gigantic heavenly hand. "Go," shouted Song Zhao. The sky exploded as his heavenly hand moved towards Lin Feng at full speed. Lin Feng looked tiny when compared to that heavenly hand. "I'll destroy the heavens," shouted Lin Feng, closing his eyes. Sword lights kept emerging from his body while moving in all directions. He used wind thunder laceration, his desolate Xana, his Vayu death, his nihility Xana waves, and so on. All his attacks, his abstruse energies, and cosmic energies were intertwining and rolling in waves. The sky trembled again as another cloud of cosmic energies appeared in the sky. "Come out, all of you," shouted Lin Feng, sounding like a madman. He wanted to make all his abstruse energies turn into cosmic energies. Demon, death, earth, and now wind cosmic energy. Cursing cosmic energy appeared as well. Empty space cosmic energy is present in the cloud, fire cosmic energy is present in the cloud. 7 types of cosmic energies, the crowd was speechless. Kacha. More explosions sounded, and then Song Zhao coughed up blood, his face turning deathly pale. "What's going on?" thought Song Zhao, looking at the sky. Some lights had descended from the sky and destroyed his heavenly hand. 7 sorts, how's that even possible? Even without a body cleansed by cosmic energies, 7 different types were terrifying. Kacha. A terrifyingly explosive strength slowly descended from the sky. Were the cosmic energies going to cleanse his body this time? At that moment, Lin Feng looked like a true demon as he stared at the sky. However, at that moment, the cosmic energies which were descending from the sky exploded. Again, the gods didn't seem to be on Lin Feng's side. Lin Feng remained calm though. The cosmic energies had condensed a few times and then they had dispersed. What was going on? Why weren't they cleansing Lin Feng's body? The cosmic energies dispersed and disappeared, leaving everyone's hearts pounding. They couldn't believe it. A gigantic beast appeared in the distance, it was a Qiong Qi. At that moment, he was fixedly staring at the cloud of cosmic energies which was dispersing. He looked pensive as he whispered, "The cosmic energies didn't descend from the sky, does it mean the gods abandoned you? Or does it mean you abandoned the gods?" "I failed," said Lin Feng in a calm way. His 7 different types of cosmic energies were twinkling around him, intertwining. He couldn't make them fuse together as good as abstruse energies yet, but they were still a lot more powerful. Lin Feng smiled and whispered, "Even if the cosmic energies won't descend and won't cleanse my body, you're still much weaker than me." Song Zhao remained silent, and the crowd couldn't help but agree. Lin Feng now had 7 different types of cosmic energies. Wind and empty space cosmic energies rotated around him, making Song Zhao frown. Then, he saw Lin Feng moving towards him. He was startled. Lin Feng was much, much faster than when he only used wind abstruse energy. Death curse. Lin Feng's death and cursing cosmic energies started corroding Cao Zhao's body. His facial expression changed drastically, and suddenly, a celestial heaven shield appeared in front of him. "Explode!" shouted Lin Feng, punching the shield with a lightning and demonic energies. He was only using pure cosmic energies, nothing special. He had several types of cosmic energies, so why not enjoy them? "Chaos!" shouted Cao Zhao furiously. The atmosphere became distorted as the lightning was pushed away. Lin Feng and Cao Zhao were each propelled in different directions. Earth. Lin Feng jumped forwards and a terrifyingly heavy strength fell onto Cao Zhao, and then a cage formed. Fire. A terrifying fire condensed. "Celestial heaven's destruction!" shouted Cao Zhao furiously. He broke through the cage and the fire energies. However, a pitch-black fist was moving towards him. "Consciousness curse," said Lin Feng. After saying that, Cao Zhao's thoughts became chaotic, his heavenly king armor appeared and protected him. Boom! A heavy energy bombarded Cao Zhao's body, sending him flying. However, the strength was completely absorbed by his armor and it didn't hurt him at all. If any of those 7 different types of cosmic energies had descended from the sky to cleanse Lin Feng's body, Cao Zhao would have lost already, thought the crowd. At that moment, strong cultivators' silhouettes flickered, quickly surrounding Lin Feng. In the distance, there was also a high-level emperor glaring at Lin Feng. He was from the same clan as the boy Lin Feng had killed back at the Celestial Evolution Holy Clan, the one who had the Thunder Hammer. Lin Feng didn't ask him who he was. A chessboard appeared and suddenly became gigantic, dazzling even. The Celestial Evolution chessboard. He obtained the Celestial Evolution chessboard, many people were looking at it greedily. Whoosh! The emperors rushed over. Lin Feng glanced at them in a cold way and used an agility technique as the Celestial Evolution chessboard continued twinkling. Break! Lin Feng jumped onto the Celestial Evolution chessboard. The emperors didn't know what he was plotting, so they suddenly moved back at full speed. Deployment spell, Celestial Evolution chessboard, what else could it be, thought the crowd, frowning. Chapter 1695, Chaos and Fury. In the distance, 2 more people had appeared, a tall and sturdy old man and a girl who looked noble. "That guy has a body which allows him to understand 10 different types of abstruse energies, but he cannot break through to the Huang Qi layer," asked the girl in cyan clothes, staring at Lin Feng. "Maybe he doesn't have a body which allows him to understand 10 different types of abstruse energies," reasoned the old man. "He doesn't have a body which allows him to understand 10 different types of abstruse energies?" asked the girl. She looked startled and whispered, "That guy is insane, he even took out the Celestial Evolution chessboard. He was going to break through to the Huang Qi layer, but in the end, he's only an imperial culpa. It's a calamity for him. Any cultivator would go insane if that happened to them, especially if they were as strong as him. He is talented, but he can't break through to the Huang Qi layer. Can you imagine how horrible that would be?" said the old man, smiling. The young man reminded him of his youth. Back in a pavilion, Yang Yen was almost drooling after he saw the Celestial Evolution chessboard. He slowly stood up and a sun disk appeared in his hand. Some strong cultivators rose up in the air, all looking at Lin Feng with greed. Lin Feng jumped forwards, and the Celestial Evolution chessboard started shaking violently, becoming larger and larger. It soon blotted out the sky. Pieces of it were flickering, making it look the same as the Great Deployment spell from before. Inside his godly awareness, a palace was suspended in air. Godly Awareness Palace, the crowd saw it. Then they saw the lights from the Celestial Evolution chessboard moving towards, attempting to fuse them together. "Die," said a strong cultivator at that moment, jumping forwards. "Break." Lin Feng jumped on the Celestial Evolution chessboard and it turned into a dazzling deployment spell. The attack broke apart as it hit the chessboard. At the same time, the area where Lin Feng was standing on the celestial evolution chessboard became even more dazzling, and a pitch-black earth armor appeared around his body. His Tianji sword also appeared in front of him. How motivated, the old man in the sky smiled. Lin Feng had taken out a sword, a palace, and an armor. "You're gloating over people's misfortune," said the young woman. According to legends, the celestial evolution chessboard can transform strength. Lin Feng fused with it with his godly awareness and created a terrifying deployment spell. Not only is he a strong cultivator but he is also a strong deployment spell caster, thought the crowd. The high-level emperor was fixedly staring at Lin Feng. He hadn't thought that Lin Feng would understand deployment spells so well. Thunders had already appeared around him. Die! Lightning descended from the sky and moved towards Lin Feng at breakneck speed. Break! Lin Feng jumped again, then 7 lights penetrated the celestial evolution chessboard and fused together with it. The whole chessboard was shining brightly as it rose up into the air. Explosions sounded as the lightning exploded and disappeared. Damn deployment spell, thought a few of the emperors. The high-level emperor had intervened because he knew that medium-level emperors couldn't do anything. The high-level emperor was incredulous. He was holding a purple thunder jewel which grew in size and strength. The sky around him had become distorted. Lin Feng raised his head and looked at the jewel. The strong cultivator threw it in the air, then it streaked across the sky towards Lin Feng, a beautiful light trailed behind it. Lin Feng smiled mockingly and indifferently, he looked amused. He jumped as the jewel crashed onto the celestial evolution chessboard. Lin Feng had already disappeared and reappeared on another side of the celestial evolution chessboard. 9 dazzling thunders, die, shouted the high-level emperor. Suddenly, several grand lightnings descended from the sky. Lin Feng groaned coldly and his godly awareness moved throughout the celestial evolution chessboard at full speed. He ran and jumped, and then destructive energies formed to block the strikes. The strong cultivator shouted furiously, "Go onto the chessboard and kill him." The emperors around obeyed his orders and started running towards Lin Feng, descending onto the celestial evolution chessboard. Lin Feng ran around while releasing energies into the deployment spell. His godly awareness guided each of his movements. Illusion. Lin Feng suddenly jumped again. The celestial evolution chessboard shined so brightly that the crowd below could neither see Lin Feng nor the celestial evolution chessboard or the people on it. Illusion deployment spell, the crowd frowned. Lin Feng had prepared it earlier and his deployment spell was large. Is he using the celestial evolution chessboard or is he using his own powers to create the deployment spells, thought Cao Xiao. Even if Lin Feng hadn't broken through to the Huang Qi layer, he was still managing to impress everybody. Inside the celestial evolution chessboard, in the illusion, the strong cultivators were lost and frowning. A medium-level emperor saw Lin Feng, but he didn't look happy. Boom! He couldn't dodge the shattering deployment spell. He shouted furiously as the lower half of his body exploded. Slash! Then a sword dug into his head. After he died, Lin Feng burnt his corpse. Lin Feng also took his rings. Lin Feng then turned around and towards low-level emperor. Die, said Lin Feng, his voice contained death-cursing strength. After the Tianji sword directly pierced through his head, Lin Feng took a few more rings. A strong cultivator saw that Lin Feng had killed 2 people already, so he turned around and started leaving. However, he soon found that he couldn't get out of the deployment spell. Inside the illusion, Lin Feng was like a god. Back at the outside world, the crowd was looking up at the illusion deployment spell, listening to the horrible shrieks emanating outwards. Terrifying lightning continued to assault the illusion deployment spell, but they immediately disappeared each time. The high-level emperor looked furious as he started leaving. He wanted to go and inform the great emperor from his clan. Maybe he would come and kill Lin Feng. Vast celestial ancient city was big, but too many people had noticed the clouds of cosmic energies constantly forming, and then lack of cosmic energy descending from the sky. They could guess what was going on. "Let us go," shouted someone as another horrible shriek sounded. Finally, the illusion deployment spell disappeared. However, Lin Feng was the only one on the celestial evolution chessboard. Lin Feng looked calm, even though his robe was soaked with blood. He was holding his sword with the blade dripping blood. He slowly walked forwards, the sky shook as the celestial evolution chessboard started shaking and moved away. Lin Feng turned around and looked at Song Xiao, who had already started running away. Even though he had the Heavenly King armor, he knew he'd die if he went onto Lin Feng's celestial evolution chessboard. Chapter 1696, Killing Holy Clan's Disciples. The celestial evolution chessboard was still floating above Ice Moon Lake, and it was moving towards a pavilion. Renlei looked calm, but her heart was still pounding. Was Lin Feng really stuck? Would he never break through to the Huangqi layer? The celestial evolution chessboard bombarded the pavilion in which Renlei was. Even so, she didn't move. A moment after, she was standing on the celestial evolution chessboard. Yang Yan was standing in the air with some strong cultivators from the Holy Sun clan. "Leave the Moon Palace and come with me," said Lin Feng to Renlei. Renlei looked at him and shook her head. "Lin Feng, I have my own life. You're a piece of trash and now you want to take Ren, the celestial girl, with you," said Yang Yan, smiling in a cold way. "Mind your own business, you won't be able to leave at all." Lin Feng didn't look at Yang Yan, he was still looking at Ren. He remained silent for a few seconds and then said calmly, "Then, if we ever see each other again, we'll be strangers." Then, Lin Feng turned around and started leaving. However, a terrifyingly cold energy emerged from him when he saw a silhouette emerging from the Moon Palace. Xin. Lin Feng looked at her, noticing here mercilessness energy. Mercilessness, the crowd frowned. Was that girl from Moon Palace? Xin walked to Lin Feng while releasing more mercilessness energies. Oh no! Lang Yi suddenly realized that this girl wasn't Lin Feng's wife anymore. He shouted, "Lin Feng, be careful." Though Lang Yi shouted, it didn't look like Lin Feng had heard him. He was just fixedly staring at Xin, thinking about the years they had been together. Xin pointed at Lin Feng, and in a flash, an imprint moved towards him, crashing onto his body. "Lin Feng, she's trying to kill you," shouted Lang Yi furiously. Even though he didn't know Xin, he understood that since she practiced mercilessness cultivation, she would want to kill anyone just to improve her mercilessness cultivation. "It's still not you, right?" said Lin Feng, fixedly staring into her eyes. She had tears dripping from her eyes. She wasn't herself anymore, but she could remember who she used to be. "Die!" Xin shouted, mercilessness cosmic energy dashed to the skies. Lin Feng suddenly felt threatened. Lin Feng looked at her and raised his head. He knew that Xin wanted to kill him, to pass her final hurdle. "Piss off," shouted Lin Feng. He released terrifying energies which bombarded Xin's body, sending her flying. Lin Feng's mouth was bleeding though. Renlei looked at Lin Feng, she also had tears dripping from her face. She had thought she was determined, but Lin Feng really was the determined one. She now knew that no matter what, she didn't want anyone else, she would never have a second man. "Kill him," said Yang Yan. Instantly, some strong cultivators from the Holy Sun clan descended from the sky, moving towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng suddenly raised his head, the 9 netherworlds water appeared in his eyes, and his godly awareness palace appeared. Then his godly awareness palace made the celestial evolution chessboard light up once again. "Rise!" shouted Lin Feng furiously. The celestial evolution chessboard rose into the air. Then Lin Feng released demonic energies and a demon king armor appeared around him. Do you think you can escape? Said Yang Yan. The sun was shining brightly as it moved towards Lin Feng at full speed. Lin Feng disappeared and reappeared on the other side of the Celestial Evolution chessboard. The Celestial Evolution chessboard seemed like it was going to burn from all those strong cultivators from the Holy Sun clan. Lin Feng immediately threw a talisman and disappeared. Yang Yan looked around. More suns appeared as Lin Feng reappeared. Blood curse, shouted Lin Feng. Suddenly, Yang Yan sensed that his blood was boiling, and he couldn't control it anymore. It felt like he was going to explode. Death curse. Death curse energies surrounded Yang Yan and began draining his life. Yang Yan's sun disk stopped moving, and he froze in air. He was worried that Lin Feng could kill him at any moment. Lin Feng's death hand quickly grabbed him by his throat. Let him go. The strong cultivators from the Holy Sun clan who were flying towards Lin Feng stopped. Lin Feng had captured Yang Yan, so they couldn't act rashly. Lin Feng ignored them as he descended from the sky with Yang Yan in his hands. Then Lin Feng landed on the Celestial Evolution chessboard again. Lin Feng hadn't broken through to the Huangqi layer, but he still managed to stop Yang Yan with his aggressive cursing cosmic energy, and now he has him trapped in a dangerous area. Let him go, otherwise the Holy Sun clan will definitely kill you, said a strong cultivator from the Holy Sun clan. Lin Feng didn't look at him, he was fixedly staring at Yang Yan. Yang Yan looked afraid as he said, "You wouldn't dare kill me." "I like people who say that to me," said Lin Feng, smiling. Death curse energies made Yang Yan's blood boil again, all the while draining his life. Arg! Yang Yan didn't want to fight anymore. Fire cosmic energy were burning him, wind cosmic energies were cutting him countless times, and in the blink of an eye, he turned to ashes. Then Lin Feng took his sun disk and his rings. He killed him. He's insane, thought the crowd. The emperors were furious. Imperial weapons flashed and moved towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng took a few steps, and each time he made a step, terrifying energies emerged. "He won't be able to stand it much longer," whispered the old man. "You should save him," said the young woman to the old man. She seemed impatient. "Why would I?" asked the old man. Her eyes twinkled as she said, "The gods are against him, his wife abandoned him, great emperors want to kill him. If you don't save him, he'll die." "But I don't know him," said the old man, smiling. "But I know him," said the young woman, trying to look cute. If the crowd had seen the holy woman of the animal clan acting like that, how would they react? "All right, baby girl, I'll save him. Maybe things will change if we protect him," said the old man, still smiling. Above the ice moon lake, a destructive celestial strength suddenly descended from the sky. All the cultivators from the Holy Sun clan stopped. A terrifying cultivator was descending from the sky, a great emperor. Lin Feng was still bleeding, and he had no energy left. He couldn't even use life energy to recover anymore. When he saw that cultivator, he smiled, but he still looked sad. He just wanted to break through to the Huangqi layer and leave, but the gods hadn't let him. Chapter 1697, Challenging the Skies in the Distance. Qiong Qi was watching silently. "You little bastard, you must like facing risks," thought Qiong Qi. 7 of his energies had turned into cosmic energies and now a great emperor was saving him. "You must want to exhaust me to death, don't you?" thought Qiong Qi. There was probably more than just one great emperor there. The strong cultivators from the Holy Sun clan stopped fighting when they saw the great emperor. At the same time, Lang Yi landed next to Lin Feng and looked at the great emperor in the distance. "Nobody can kill him," said Lang Yi. "I want the Celestial Evolution chessboard and all his rings," said the great emperor indifferently. Lin Feng smiled in a cold way. Then the Celestial Evolution chessboard became tiny as he recalled it. He looked at Lang Yi and said, "Lang Yi, help me look after the Celestial Evolution chessboard." If I die, you can keep it. Alright, said Lang Yi, nodding. You must be from the Thunder Clan. I have the Celestial Evolution chessboard, so if you're asking me for it, I'll give it to you, but you should think about the consequences carefully. Perhaps the World Clan won't hesitate in attacking you. He killed Yang Yan, so no matter what, he must die today. I don't believe the World Clan would attack the Holy Sun Clan because of him, said a strong cultivator from the Holy Sun Clan. Even if they didn't take the Celestial Evolution chessboard, they still had to kill Lin Feng and take the Sun Disk back. Suddenly a terrifying energy descended from the sky and surrounded Lin Feng and Lang Yi. Lang Yi was surprised, shouting, "Who are you and why won't you show yourself?" Boom! A terrifying energy suddenly descended from the sky and a gigantic hand appeared. The hand was moving towards Lin Feng at full speed. Someone wants to assassinate Lin Feng, thought the crowd, shaking. Lang Yi had told them that nobody could kill Lin Feng, but if they killed him without showing themselves, then he couldn't do anything. However, a terrifying light suddenly crashed onto the hand and destroyed it, leaving a vortex of energies suspended in air. Who? Many people glanced around. Some terrifying lights blotted out the sky, suffocating the crowd, and making Lin Feng's face turn deathly pale. Who dares get involved? Said an ice-cold voice. From the east? No, from the west. The crowd tried to see which great emperor was talking. Boom! The earth and the sky shook violently as a gigantic phoenix appeared. Who? Shouted someone furiously. It was the great emperor who had just talked, but it seemed like someone was attacking him. Many people were shaking, they couldn't breathe. The phoenix was all-encompassing, seemingly capable of devouring the sky. Piss off. The voice sounded like it came from an old man. The other voice didn't reply, as if they had left already. Piss off, everybody, shouted the old man. A terrifying cultivator is here, thought the crowd. The one who had tried to assassinate Lin Feng seemed like he had already left. At that moment, a terrifying wind surrounded Lin Feng and took him away. Lin Feng couldn't hold it anymore, he finally fainted. What a scary cultivator, thought Lang Yi, looking at Lin Feng's body. Someone had taken Lin Feng away, but that person was trying to help Lin Feng. In the distance, Cheong Chi's eyes flashed. He was surprised and whispered, "He's lucky, I didn't need to intervene even though he was in such danger." Then he left. At that moment, Chiu Yuxian had already become entirely emotionless. Her tears had disappeared, she now looked extremely cold and aggressive. She wasn't Chiu Yuxian anymore. Ren Lei looked extremely sad as she thought about what Lin Feng had said, that they'd act like strangers if they ever met in the future. Tsang Xiao looked furious, whispering, "He can't break through to the Huang Qi layer, so even if he leaves, it doesn't matter, he'll still be stuck at the same cultivation level forever. Even with 7 different types of energies, he's still a piece of trash." Everybody had different thoughts. Some people felt sad for him, some people envied him, some people were gloating over his misfortunes. But all of that had nothing to do with Lin Feng anymore. Back in the animal clan, at the top of a cyan mountain, Lin Feng finally woke up. He had slept for 3 days, resting on a gigantic stone. Although the scenery looked beautiful, he wasn't in the mood to enjoy the landscapes. He turned around and saw a silhouette in cyan clothes looking at him, it was Qin Feng. Lin Feng slowly stood up, his injuries were healed already. He remembered that when he was about to die, a strong cultivator had appeared. Was it a cultivator from the animal clan? "Did your master save me?" Lin Feng asked. "You're awake," said Qin Feng, smiling at Lin Feng. She felt sorry for him, she hoped he'd be able to find a solution though. "The old man did," replied Qin Feng. Lin Feng didn't know precisely who she meant, but he understood that it was a terrifying cultivator from the animal clan. "Thank you," said Lin Feng, smiling at Qin Feng. "Don't thank me," said Qin Feng. "You've been traveling a lot, you should relax some. Alright, said Lin Feng, nodding. Then, he jumped off the gigantic stone and flew, landing on another mountain. There he released cosmic energies, 7 different types of cosmic energies. He could control 7 types of cosmic energies, so what? If he couldn't break through to the Huang Qi layer, his life was over. His cosmic energies twinkled, and at that moment, Lin Feng was aghast as he released his celestial book spirit. A new page was shaking. Spirit. Lin Feng's heart was shaking. He hadn't tried to use his spirit, but it had appeared on its own. Open. He found it difficult to turn that page. The gods abandoned me, people have abandoned me, don't you abandon me too, said Lin Feng, releasing demonic energies. His book spirit was shaking violently. Damn, open yourself, shouted Lin Feng, making great efforts. That page really was difficult to turn, but Lin Feng really wanted to know what secrets it had to offer. Lin Feng closed his eyes, shaking violently. The battles above the Ice Moon Lake replayed in his head. Even if the gods have abandoned me, I won't give up, I will defy the heavens, shouted Lin Feng. The sky above him was trembling and his book spirit was shaking even more violently. Lin Feng glanced around, how could he defy the skies though? Chapter 1698, God's Fury. The Holy City was one of the main 18 cities in the Dark Night region, and it was even more famous that vast celestial ancient city. After June Mo she had broken free from the 9 great celestial castles, he had looked for the Holy City for a long time, he had spent 5 years looking for it. Finally, he had found it. That small world was only filled with people who were fascinated by cultivation. June Mo she wasn't disappointed, the people there were strong, even emperors were common there. After entering the Holy City, June Mo she had fought against someone, and then an emperor had chased him after they realized that he possessed an imperial immortal body. Under the constant threat of death, some people finally saved him, the King of Hell Palace. Then he joined the King of Hell Palace. He knew that inside the Holy City, if you didn't join a powerful group, you could die. June Mo she had received terrifying cultivation resources in the King of Hell Palace. And then he had practiced cultivation like a madman, and finally, he had broken through to the Huang Qi layer. At that moment, in vast celestial ancient city, above the big lake outside of the city, a group of people had arrived, and June Mo she was leading the group, whispering, vast celestial ancient city and the Holy City are the 2 of the main cities in the region. Elsewhere in vast celestial ancient city, inside the animal clan, Lin Feng was still practicing cultivation. His body, soul, and celestial book spirit were shaking violently. Finally, Lin Feng managed to turn a page, however, he immediately collapsed after that. He was determined and had a powerful soul, but all that pressure took its toll. However, this time Lin Feng only took a few hours to recover. He entered his mysterious world, the desolate area, and then he raised his head. World strength, thought Lin Feng frowning. Was that world strength? It was different from the world strength of the world clan though. That world strength had no color, it almost looked fake, like an illusion. Lin Feng used his godly awareness and the world moved along with the pulsations of his godly awareness. It's not the outside world, it's an intent world, thought Lin Feng. Could he control a special world strength? The darkness is becoming paler, thought Lin Feng. The dark clouds seem to be further and further, turning into the sky. Is that one of the powers emperors have? Creating small worlds, thought Lin Feng. Had he broken through to the Huang Qi layer? Brown ground. Lin Feng moved his godly awareness again and the ground became yellow and brown. What a mysterious strength, whispered Lin Feng. He felt like he could control that world. Moon and sun cycle, said Lin Feng, raising his head. Then a sun appeared which was scorching hot. Cosmic energies, that's cosmic strength, thought Lin Feng, pleasantly happy. Surprisingly, he could modify the world around him. He released his 7 different types of cosmic energies, and suddenly, a terrifying strength penetrated his body, mixing together with his cosmic energies. Lin Feng's facial expression changed drastically. The strength of the earth and sky was madly entering his body. His cosmic energies were also becoming more powerful. Lin Feng didn't stop that flood of energy, even though he didn't exactly know what was going on. Why didn't cosmic energies fall upon him in the outside world? He had a different world strength in that world, and it was changing his cosmic energies. Finally, his cosmic energies turned into an illusion. Lin Feng watched them disappear and then he left that place, re-emerging in the outside world. The sky was normal, Lin Feng was lying on the ground, and he looked the same as before. He couldn't sense anything in the outside world. I've broken through to the Huang Qi layer, but the world doesn't accept me, thought Lin Feng. He was a bit desperate, but what could he do? He didn't understand it at all. Was there even a solution? In the distance, Qing Feng saw him wake up, so she flew towards him. She was worried and sad for him, especially after he fainted again. Lin Feng couldn't accept the fact that he couldn't break through to the Huang Qi layer, so maybe he wanted to die now. She didn't know what Lin Feng was thinking. She was actually wondering what would happen if he managed to tear that page off the book. Lin Feng didn't think about it too much. He went back into his spirit world. At the top of the mountain, Wu, the young man from the animal clan, had just arrived. Wu landed next to Qing Feng and coldly glanced at Lin Feng. Qing Feng, why don't you kick that piece of trash out of the clan? Qing Feng coldly glanced at him and said, I'm not interested in your opinion. Qing Feng, you'll soon be my wife, so how can you spend time with a human being? On top of that, someone whom the gods have abandoned, said Wu unhappily. Lin Feng had already been there for a few days. Leave my mountain, shouted Qing Feng. Humph. Wu looked at her in a cold way. Qing Feng, soon I'll break through to the Huang Qi layer. I'm going to practice cultivation now, and when I come out, my father will ask yours for your hand. Then, Wu glanced at Lin Feng one last time and left. Lin Feng didn't see any of that as he was in his spirit world. That spirit world was a small world, but Lin Feng was seeing if he could hide his small world in his body. If he could, then people wouldn't be able to attack his small world. When he came back out and appeared in the real world, Lin Feng looked at the sky once more, looking a bit disappointed. The gods abandoned me, but why are the two worlds so different? I still can borrow the cosmic energy of the earth and the sky here, thought Lin Feng, sighing. He stretched out his hand and released earth cosmic energy formed. It was a bit black, and it seemed like it had become more powerful. Perhaps he could become even stronger in the small world in his spirit, which also meant that he could become stronger there, and that his cultivation level might only be able to improve inside it. At that moment, a terrifying strength started shaking the sky. Huh? Lin Feng frowned. Something was attacking the animal clan's small world. Boom! Another loud sound rang. Suddenly, many people appeared in the animal clan. The animals frowned. What was going on? Someone dared attack the animal world. But it came from Cyan Mountain. Was it the old man of the clan? Boom! The sounds continued banging. The animal clan's small world was very powerful, so destroying it was almost impossible. Whoosh! A strong wind started blowing on the peak as an old man appeared, looking at Lin Feng. Recall your cosmic energies, said the old man to Lin Feng. Lin Feng looked at him and then his cosmic energies disappeared. After that, he also recalled his energies and the animal world became calm again. How come? Had he really infuriated the gods? What's going on? Asked Qing Feng to the old man. The old man shouted, those who have nothing to do here can leave. The animals then progressively left. The gods don't want him using his cosmic energies, thought the old man. If Lin Feng really was an imperial culpa, he couldn't die. He had to take him somewhere. How do you feel when the celestial energies descend from the sky? Asked the old man to Lin Feng. It's very painful, said Lin Feng. I'll get the celestial evolution chessboard back for you. While you wait for me, don't release any more cosmic energies, said the old man. Lin Feng nodded, but he was still trying to figure out why this happening. If the gods really wanted to punish him, then maybe the celestial evolution chessboard was the only thing which could help protect him. The old man disappeared, leaving Qin Feng looking confused. Just what was going on? That you're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.